One.
Welcome to the Grandmaster Level Show. Well, we had a really big team and the whole team quit on us. No, I'm just kidding. Some circumstances happened today, guys. Well, we don't have Heston. Spartan Grown's going to be a little bit late. And Marcus is coming back from Whistler and hopefully he can make it. So unfortunately, we don't have our whole panel here. The first thing, oh, well, look, speak of the devil. Actually, I'll never say that again.
Right? Perfect timing.
Look at that, man. You literally just showed up. You just beamed in here when I said you're going to be late.
Well,
Spartan Grow doesn't mess around, guys.
no. I hate being late, so we put the gas to the floor and we got here, man.
That was so sick. Anyway, so today on the show, we also have Spartan Grown. The first big thing that there's quite a bit to go over on this show, but the very first big thing that I need to get or that we need to announce is we have delayed the Tarantula Predator pre-sale. We actually discovered a couple really groundbreaking things, and so many people have asked about the science behind it, and we've decided that we're going to do R&D for a few more months before we release it. Well, we're working on the registration in the United States and Canada, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I want to apologize for anybody that was counting on it. It's like we've rushed so many other products already, and it's like we want to know every last thing about it, and even have more valuable SOPs. And we also want to be able to test it on stuff like russet and broad mites, which we haven't got to test it on yet. So, I want to apologize. I know a lot of people were counting on it. What I can say is when we release it, it's going to work better than ever, because we're obviously going to have even more information in it. And there's a very good chance that it's going to be released in USA before Canada. That's another thing that I can also say. Next, guys, this was a huge, huge day for us. Well, we basically are reshaping the LED industry as of today. And I'm just going to quickly, 1 second here, I can share my screen here. 1 second. Start my virtual camera. Oh. Okay, wait, that's showing, or what do you see? Do you see a spaceship?
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 second here.
Yeah, we're in the cockpit right now.
Okay, well, I'm just kind of just showing this for anybody that didn't get to see it. This is the Tarantula Voyager, and this is the light that we've been talking about the last few weeks. That's truly going to reshape the LED industry. It's priced for $9.99 US. It's got 12 spectrums, two 750 Inventronics drivers, and it's got a spectrum range of 2000K to 9000K. So you literally can do HBS, metal halide, and anything in between. And we're like extremely, extremely excited about this. And this is the one that we were talking about. Hold on a second, Mike. How come I can't stop sharing my screen? Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry, there we go. This is the one that we were, sorry, I'm just getting this back to my camera. This is the one that happened when I said I had a dream, or like I fell asleep, took a bunch of edibles, passed out, woke up in the middle of the night, and then had this crazy idea. And I want to kind of just tell people what the idea was and what we were trying to really do. So right away on the last crop, we could see, and not just my crop, with multiple people that were using the Borg, were having insane results with the HBS spectrum. They just were loving it. They were getting bigger flowers and just having insane results. So I had an idea. I was going to make a fixture with an HPS spectrum. And then I started thinking about all my HPS days, how I would put in metal halide lights down the middle of my rows, or always add them towards the end. And then I thought, well, you know what? We're going to make the long leg V2, which is going to be an HPS spectrum with blue on a separate channel. So I started off by saying, I'm going to add 70 watts. So we'll have like a regular light that's like 600 or 700 watts and 70 watts of blue. And then I'd been thinking, you know what? I'm actually going to make it 100 watts. And I thought, well, that will give it a little bit further. And that is what I had kind of settled on. And, with my team, we kind of just discussed it and went back and forth. And I thought, that's a great idea. And then like it happened that day, like I told you, I ate this massive dose of edibles. I had no tolerance, got uncomfortably high, passed out, literally shot out of the bed at 3:30 in the morning, like literally out of the bed, and it hit me. And then I thought, well, wait a second. The cost between a 100-watt driver and a 150-watt driver is $10 or less, and I'm thinking, well, hey, if I add 50 watts, this is gonna have more diversity. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a second. If I add 50 watts and make it to 150, it's going to have more. But if I make it a 200, it's going to have even more diversity. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a second. If I add a 300, what if I add a 320 watts? And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's going to be able to make so many more spectrums. And then I went to 480, and then all of a sudden it clicked. It's like, why don't I have 2 lights in one? And then it was like, how has this not been done yet? Like,
honestly, just for the situation to where like you're a home grow, you have one space that you can use, and you don't have to pick, oh, could I have a flower light in a veg light? Now you're able to, with the same light, do both. You can have a veg spectrum, you can flip the spectrum and not change your light out.
So we started going back and forth, and I'm talking in China. I'm like, well, how could I be the one to come up with this idea? How has this not been done yet? And my team in China was like, well, we don't grow cannabis, so that's our excuse. He goes, I don't know what anybody else's excuse is, because we were kind of surprised that it just never been happened. And then it's like, well, wait a second. So, a lot of people think, oh, 1,500 watts. It is never, well, you actually can use it at 1,500 watts. If you want to get it, run it at 1,500 watts, do a 6x6 space for a couple crops, and then use it as a spectrum tuning light. You can do it, but it's designed to run at 700 to 750 watts. So you've got this really warm white channel, and then you've got this crazy cool white channel. So and if you go in between, that's going to be like LEDs. You're going to be able to hit almost, you're going to, be within almost roughly, I'm going to say within 1 or 2% of almost any LED spectrum that's existing there that you can get. And what we're actually going to do is provide, we're going to make like a sheet that shows every company spectrum, that shows the red, green, and blue. There's no more hiding it, no more smoke. You get to see exactly what's going on, and you can make an informed decision.
Hopefully we can make an industry change a little bit and kind of push people into that RG, red, green, the percentages, red, green, blue, so that we can speak all the same language. And so it doesn't have to be secret, weird science, and we can speak layman's terms to each other and compare things. Hopefully it gets to that industry wide. I love that on when I got the Borg and opened up the manual, and it was talking about all the spectrums, and it has those breakdowns as this is this percent, this percent, this percent. It makes it so easy to compare spectrum to spectrum. It makes it easy to compare different spectrums. Right now, you're kind of just eyeballing it with spectrum charts.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the biggest points that we also want to bring up is the value of this. Okay, so this light, the Tarantula Voyager, it's got 5,310 diodes. It's got 2 Inventronic 750 watt drivers, and it's priced for $9.99. Now look at other companies that have one Inventronics 680 watt driver with one spectrum going for $1,300 US. It's it's insane. And there's lots of companies that are doing it, and that's why I was saying it's changed. The single channel lights are over. Like, they're not over, but if you're going to be spending over $1,000, why would you ever want to buy like one light or one spectrum and compete against someone that's got 12 or 500? And that's just the very, 1 second here. So I'm just going to share my screen here.
Yeah, obviously you use what you have, but if you're going to buy a new light, why would you look at a light that's only got, one driver on it when you can, for cheaper, get one with multiple drivers and multiple spectrums?
So a lot of people also have been kind of like wondering, I got some questions and people saying there's no far red in it. It doesn't, well, it's a little deceiving, because if you actually look at the slope, there is. Now, spectrum 1 at 100% has 5% far red in the spectrum. So when you have the warm white, and it's in the white diodes. So this comes down way thicker and longer than you would normally see. So anyways, you can see that you can start at a very warm. This is warmer than even HBS. And you can go all the way down to, if you want to have complete blue. And so like if you want to have 9,000K in veg in that, and with our controller, you can set it so it can change the spectrum throughout the day up to 20 times if you want. And it's really just going to change the game for people and just allow people. Well, we're going to be opening up a Discord area or system or setup for everybody where they can make their posts. And we're going to be all, growing a lot of the same genetics under different spectrums and posting all the results. It's going to be pretty damn exciting. So anyways, we're really excited about that. The pre-sale has started today. And here's one thing I want to bring up, guys. The pre-sale that's going on right now, and that I'm about to talk about, the Tarantula Borg Evolution, is on sale. It is never going to be on sale for as low as it is right now. Right now, you can get it for $1,105 US. And this is identical to our regular Borg. And this is all for Grandmaster level listeners. We could never sell it at this price. We'd be out of business instantly. Like it's, so like I said, this, if you are and can get it, you are going to want to get it this weekend, because like I said, well, first of all, the Tarantula Borg Evolution has 4 Inventronics drivers, 5,600 diodes, and it can do everything the same as the Borg. It's literally identical. By physically looking at it, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. And you can see it's going to retail permanently for $1,300 US moving forward. And again, this is another thing that really changes the industry, because no one's ever made anything like this on this affordable. And you can see it's got 60 spectrums. And like I said, I highly recommend.
I have a question about the is the spectrum tuning just on the Evo and the are they both going to still require, I'm assuming, the controller to get the spectrum tuning, or is it like the Borg to where it's got the manual where you can do it manually as well?
Well, you can see right here it shows the percentage on each one of the percentage of each one. So yeah, you can, with the controller, you can do it manually if you want to on the driver, but we highly recommend the controller. It's really hard to try to adjust it. It's not going to be nearly as precise with a knob. So, but yeah, that's what I was like. What I was trying to say is that this thing is the Borg.
Yeah.
There is no, the only difference is the combination of diodes. So the Borg, and I'll show you right now. So we're using, this is actually a mistake. It's actually all Osram 660 in the Borg Evolution. But in the Voyager, it's half and half. So, but anyways, we've got LM301H Evo Mint whites with the LED star 2835 white and Osram 660s.
Nice.
So it's and we're using LED star 730 nanometer. So like the difference is going to be in efficacy is going to be less than 5%, probably just down to a few percent. I'll have to pull out the actual Spear report once it hits DLC. But again, like I was saying, if you guys can, it's never going to be on sale for this cheap ever again. I can personally guarantee it. So,
and too, there's payment options on the website too. So you can, if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't have all that money right this second, you can go on there and see if the payment options is within your budget as well.
The Mad Hasher, when I say identical, it can make all the same spectrums, but the efficacy of the Borg is higher. So the one thing that I just want to point out, the main Borg is using all it's got LM301H, LM301H Evo, which are, and it also has the Evo Mint diodes, but they're 3 to 4% more efficient and they cost 40% more. And in every single aspect, the Borg can beat the Borg Evolution, but we've just made it more affordable by using diodes that don't cost as much. Anyways, but yeah, here it is. And like I said, this is finally, when we released our controller, we had people nonstop saying to us, we want spectrum controlling lights. If I get your controller, can I change the spectrum with my light? Like people wanted it nonstop. And I just know it's the future. We can see it's the future.
And with this light, I'm assuming like all our other lights, people, if they'd like to, they can buy the extension kit to take if they want the controllers outside of the room, they can mount them outside the room.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the RJ45 port, so you can take it basically wherever you want. And no, you don't need a code. It's just right at checkout. The discount is automatically applied.
Well, I'm saying they would have to buy a kit, the power cable extension kit if they wanted to mount the actual driver outside of the room.
Yeah,
Right.
so for both of them, you actually it's two cables, it's not just one.
Oh, it's two. Okay.
Yeah, but it's so you need to get two to extend it, but you absolutely can do a 10-foot extension on it if you want to have the driver outside your tent, or if you want to have your driver mounted on a wall. I know I was speaking to somebody that's got limited ceilings. If you have limited space, well, taking the driver off the ceiling is going to work out better for you. It's going to leave more room for you. So having it on the side if you need every inch. And you're asking what size?
I think it would be slick to have all your drivers mounted outside on the outside wall of your flower room, and then have your controller right between them, so you could just connect from all of those drivers right to your controller right there. Would look cool, I think.
Well, they daisy chain though, right? All the drivers. So
yeah, daisy chain them, yeah, like in a square around, and then the controller right in the middle. That would look cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else I was just about to say.
Another thing to remember that I've told a few people so far, if you are getting a GML controller, lighting controller, whatever light that you're hooking it up to, I think all of our lights have manual dimmers on it. Make sure your dimmer's at 100% when you hook it up, because if you're manually dimmed down to 50% and your controller you're saying put it at 100%, you're getting 50% still. You want to make sure.
No, you're not.
No, really? It's going to override the manual?
The second that it plugs into the RJ ports, it overrides the manual.
Okay. Well, that's kind of cool, because then I could keep my settings manually set to where I want them and then just plug in the RJ45 and it'll just override everything that's already set.
One other thing I also wanted to bring up is we are, like if you've already in the past got any type of existing lights from us, even if it was with the former company we're with, and you know your light's working and you can't afford or you don't want to upgrade right now, we're willing to reach out to us. We're willing to do special deals on our crop steering kits, where you can add all those bars where it's going to be a special price for you, so you don't have to, you can still crop steer with spectrums and not have to buy a whole light. Just want to bring that up because there's a lot of we literally have these booster bars that can literally correct any spectrum, or if something is missing, you can add it to it. It's something we haven't really talked about much or really promoted on the show. But yeah, besides that, it's pretty exciting. I finally got planted a couple days ago, or sorry, it's at 11 p.m. It will be 48 hours since I've planted. And if you saw, the clones were like off the charts. It's like I could kick them on the first day that I got them. They were that nice and big. They were like, well, like they wanted me to pick them up like 10 days ago. So they've been like pre-vegging, you know what I mean? So
nice. Well, I was gonna say nice, but I don't know if that's really nice. What are you gonna do about that?
Well, I just
flip them quick.
They're kind of stretchy, but I just topped them and I cleaned out the bottoms. I'm just gonna give it a few days and kick them, and then next time make sure that I'm have my shit together. Like honestly, we've had so much stuff going on. I've been having to make these trips to the city and back, and it's been insane. Poops actually just got some Borg hung this week. How's it going, brother?
Test 1 2 test. Yep, there we go. Hey, what is up, everybody?
How is it in the Great North?
Cold and not very snowy, honestly. Man, I should be like 3 feet under snow, but I'm not. It's crazy out here.
Nice. How's everything else?
Good.
So there's someone in chat, and I've been referencing people. I don't know if you've been getting messages on social media, but people have been telling me, I think I just want to manually control my lights without the controller. And I'm like, Poops was trying to make this argument with me, and he's like, no, I can, because he's got a power meter, and Poops is Mr. DIY. And basically, yeah, he didn't want to do it, and I was telling him, no, you got to just trust me. So Poops, why don't you there's someone else that just asked about that.
Yeah, so if you got one fixture and you have an inline AC, plug in your light into one side, plug your meter into the other end, and see how many watts you're pulling, you can individually set your, okay, my dog's having a fucking squeak fest here. You could technically make it work, but man, you want the display, you want the controller, honestly. You really do. It's complicated because if you pick from from the presets, the spectrum menu, right? You got that 60 different profiles you can pick from. Am I still on? Check my
Yeah,
thing.
you're still there.
Okay, there we go. So I've learned a couple of things. Whatever you pick from that preset menu will adjust the four knobs in proportion to give you that spectrum that you expect, right? And you can dial up and dial down the overall power and maintain that spectrum within a limited amount of power.
Yes. If any spectrum goes below 10% or any channel goes below 10%, it will shut off.
Right, because it can no longer maintain that spectrum. So in my case, I opted out of that and I'm opting to control all the spectrums myself. I put all the dials to 100%, took the main dial down to 15%, 15, and I'm achieving about 150 to 180 PPFD at 5 feet for solo cup size plants with barely any roots. That's as much PPFD as you want to give these poor bastards. Like, man, I had somebody walk in yesterday. Like, you ever watch Doctor Who? Anybody familiar with that? Doctor Who? The
Doctor
TARDIS.
Who?
You smoked it. I haven't watched it, but I smoked it and it was good weed.
Right? There's this whole thing. It's called the TARDIS. It's this phone booth thing. Right? It's a Britain thing. Like, they used to arrest you back in the day. They would shove you into this phone booth thing, and temporarily they would come back and get you. But in the TV series, you walk in, it's a spaceship. Like, you walk into this 2 foot by 2 foot thing, and you walk in like, God damn, it's a fucking like 10-story tall building on the inside. But you walk back out, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Okay, that's cool.
At 100%, if you dial up all the channels, this thing is a sauna. Like, it's offensive to be in the room with it.
I've noticed that, dude. I've noticed that.
Fuck me, you would never dial 4 channels to a maximum.
Well, if you want to do 36 square feet.
Fuck, dude, it's crazy. But the ability to dial the knobs the way you want it, like you walk into the room, it's a pink color. Like I have it right now where all the knobs. Okay, yes, dog, I know. My dog wants some attention. If you dial all the knobs to 100%, dial it down to 15, all around 15%. It's a nice pink color. Like you walk into the room, it's a comfortable color, and the roots are developing beautifully. I love the spread. I really do love the spread. It's nice.
Well, that's a few people have been asking me about the PAR, like asking me, oh, well, what is the PAR map? I want to see the PAR map. And we probably do have it. And I'm sure Mandy's probably in the process of posting it here within the next couple of days, but we've just been trying to catch up. But I could say that the Borg Evo is going to be pretty similar to the regular Borg, but obviously the regular Borg would, in the end, is going to be more efficient. But you just got a picture. It's got 5,300 diodes over 46 by 46, both of them. So it's going to be better than what you're using if it's not our brand. That's the bottom line. So, and it's going to be running more efficient if you're using the Borg Evolution. And I'm going to say, in almost like if you make another company's spectrum with it, I think it's going to be more efficient coming from the Borg Evolution also. Because that is another thing, is the Borg Evolution can do any spectrum. It has the same capabilities as the Borg.
And you're going to have longevity of your fixture as well, because we use way more LEDs, actual diodes, than other companies. And so when you put the equal amount, or, you know, close to the equal amount of power through those LEDs, and you have more of them, you're putting a lot less electricity through them. So they'll last for a lot longer. Whereas to save a little bit of money, some companies will use less LED diodes and run more current through it, but then you're going to burn them out quicker.
Absolutely. Well, like most fixtures are going to be just pushing a little over 2,000 diodes, or like you could say the higher end companies are using more like 3,000 diodes. People have asked in chat when it's going to be shipping. Expected shipping date is March 1st to 15th. We're not giving the, like, it's going to be shipped by the 15th for sure, but it definitely could come a lot sooner. But yeah, diode life is important. That's when you have our kind of higher end, bigger fixtures like this with all these diodes. with this custom heat sink that we made, it's just running cooler than anything else on the planet. So it's definitely gonna have a longer life for sure.
Like for anybody with the ability to measure PPFD at plant height, like you're going to pick your hotspot. Like you want to put your sensor at the highest spot in the canopy, get your hotspot reading. How much PPFD do you send your clones, your fully veg clones, into like beyond the solo cup stage, into like the 1 gallon pot, late veg, into flip? What's your numbers? How much power can you send to your strain? Because it is very much strain dependent.
When you sorry, can you say the first part? You said how much power?
Basically, he's saying how much PPFD are you putting on your clones? Because it's dependent, strain dependent. So he's saying for your strain. So for example, I'm assuming he's meaning Death Bubba.
Well, like regular clones, 100 to 120 PPFD. If it's like cloning, if it's like the next step up, have like a planted. Like the bottom line is a planted clone the next day, if it's got roots, should be up to take 350, no problem. But I still like to do 200 for a day. They can take 350 if it's got proper roots. I've done it.
Nope.
But I still would like to do it 200 for the first going from 120 to 200.
When you put let's say, for example, in my case, a clone in a 1-inch Rockwell cube, put into a solo cup, you reach that point where the solo cup's rooted, where it's drinking once a day, it's ready for transplant. That's about where I'm at, like the 250 PPFD. Seems to be the happy medium for 18 hours a day. But some strains, like I've had my hands on a bunch of different genetics these days. Some strains can fucking take it. Like there's a difference. And you have to be able to visually look at your plant and tell whether it's suffering or it's thriving. And you have to judge based on how things look. Are they praying all the way up to lights out, or are they like praying in the morning, but midway through the day they start to go level, and by the time the timer clicks off, they're drooping because they've had their fill? You're pushing a little too hard.
It's a great question though, Poops, because I haven't measured my PPFD in my bedroom anywhere, honestly. I put my clones in a clone dome on the floor underneath the same veg light that veges my big veg plants. It's just off to the side. So I'm imagining it's probably around 300 or so in my clone dome. And then seedlings, they go right into as soon as they pop out of the, as soon as they pop, I put my seed in a root riot. And then as soon as it pops up, which is usually a day or two, it goes in a cup, like you're saying, right out underneath that same light that my big veg plants are getting. It's Master Veg 6 at 50%. Probably. Well, the seedling's probably a good 4 feet away from that light. Whereas my veg plants are closer to 2 feet away.
It's kind of like a ratio to roots to shoots ratio, right? If you have a seedling, it always has more roots than shoots.
Yeah, I think seedlings are tougher because they adapt to the environment. They try to. I mean, obviously, in extreme situations, they would just die, but they tend to adapt to the environment that they're in. So if you don't baby them so much and you just put them in the veg room that they're going to veg in, they tend to do well, I think, for me. They adapt early on and then take off and they're fine. But then if you baby them, put them in low light, and then, or what I see sometimes, I don't know, it's just a pet peeve of mine. I don't have reasoning behind it so much, but it drives me nuts to see people popping seeds in clone domes.
Right?
Like, what are you doing? It's like clones. We put clones in clone domes because they don't have roots and they can't uptake water. But your seeds, they got a root, man. Don't make them used to really high humidity, then take them out and then they get pissed off because then the humidity is really low. So get them in the environment. I just always recommend put them in the environment they're going to grow in. So let them get used to that if you're popping a seed. Obviously, if you got to cut, you want to put it in a clone dome.
Do you crack your seeds first, then put them in media, or do you put them directly in soil?
The only time I'll crack my seeds or try to do anything like that is if they don't pop. If they don't pop in a few days and they're not they're not, doing anything, then I'll go and try to crack it. But usually I just am really easy. You're really easy with it. I just take a seed, I get a root riot cube, I make sure it's moist, and I put the seed in it. And that's all I do. I just wait for it to pop.
Oh, sorry. Or Poops, do you want to say one more thing? I don't want to cut you off. Well, one thing that I want to make, I know it's completely official, but I want to bring it up here and announce it for everybody. If you are in Canada, as of January 27th, if you've bought a grow light from us, like a flowering light, as long as it's like a 150 and up, you're eligible to get 2 free Death Bubba cuts as long as you have an ACMPR license. Well, it doesn't have to be Death Bubba either, but basically, we're partnered with Covert Valley, which is Life Cycle Botanics' sister company. And if you have a medical license in Canada and you buy one of our lights, you can get 2 cuts. So like it normally would be Death Bubba, but you can choose if you don't want Death Bubba. So anybody that has been in Canada all this time, watching for all these years, is finally going to have access. And plus, you're going to be able to get all the, like any of the strains that I'm growing. So the next 3 ones that I'm doing are Death Bubba, Apple Fritter, and AV Gas. And like I said, they'll all be available for anybody in Canada. And then like we got some sick ones that we're going to be growing the next 3 too. And like I said, all strains will be available. We're going to be sharing the different spectrums we're using on the strains too. So that's why I was saying there's going to be a lot of people growing Death Bubba in Canada, trying all different spectrums.
There's a good question in chat. The Mad Hatter brought it up, but I'm sure a bunch of other people would be willing to too. But the Mad Hatter says, I'll meet you at the border.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, can't we toss them over the border to each other?
So what you do is if you're close enough to the border, you go across the border, you go to the post office, you rent a PO box, and then you have a Canadian PO box, and then you just have people that are open to sending things in Canada to your Canadian PO box. At least maybe that's what I would do. Maybe
I've been told I'm only like 6 hours away. I mean, it's almost worth it.
I think I'm about 2 hours, maybe 3 away from Canada.
Genuinely, you are better off getting it intercepted in the mail than picked up in person.
Mabs asked, what if we bought a light from the prior company? Unfortunately, I don't think that they're going to honor anything from the former company. I'm just joking. I know they're not going to. But it's I feel bad for even people that bought stuff earlier than today. I know there's a lot of people that bought lights today though. So, but yeah, I kind of feel bad, but it is what it is. I've seen people pay a lot just for that cut alone, guys. So just to be able to have it available, you get it for free.
Hey man, proper cuts are worth its weight in gold. Like, fuck the price per cut. If you can get the proper cut, I don't care what it costs. Like, I will pay top dollar for the right cut.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I agree with you. It's like, man, I tried to do like a pheno hunt getting seeds, and I did this for like a year, and I didn't even come close to anything that could match with the Death Bubba.
Right? Like, time is money. How much is your time worth?
Yeah.
Like, dude, figure it out.
Exactly. And before everything like went legal, like I said, we had a day to be able to move everything into the legal side. So Life Cycle Botanics and Covert Valley, they've got, a whole bunch of every elite cut that I've basically ever touched, stuff that's going to be released in the coming months from now and stuff too. So there's like a lot of sick stuff that's coming out. We're pretty pumped about. That we're like older ones that you've seen me do too.
That's awesome.
GML, there was a question in the chat. The controller works with the long leg and the original Vulcan, correct?
Yeah, our controller works with any light that we've ever sold. We were thinking about that right from day one. So like any controller or any light, or every light that we have has an RJ14 port. Every light that we have also has the ability to mount or remove the driver if you don't want, except for the Vulcan V1. That's the only light that doesn't have that. Yeah.
Now, you would need extension cables to go for each channel, right?
You don't, like for the long leg, you only need one, but wait a second, or no, you do need two, sorry, but you do. Yeah, sorry, you do need two for that. But for the Borg, and you only need two also. You don't need 4.
Because I tell you what, on the Borg, that motherfucker is heavy. And my solution to it was to hang the pulley straps down to like belly button height, hang the fixture first, get it fucking hung, and then drop the driver on top, and then put in those little twisty things on top, get them all hooked in, then connect the connections. And pay attention before you drop your connect. Okay, I want to mention this because it's important. The Borg, there's a left side and a right side, or A and B, however you want to call it. But there's a channel A and channel B, channel 3 and channel 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The driver has to point a certain way. So depending on where your wall socket is, where your power outlet is going to be, you may want to have the end pointing to your AC closest to the socket. In my case, it was a big deal to avoid using extension cords.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would recommend in future batches to have like a black and a white or a yellow orange, some fucking 2-colored sticker to tell you what end is one end.
Definitely going to take your advice on that, for sure. And
Oh.
we can definitely add that.
I want to show something real quick. Can you allow sharing?
Sure.
Show to I'll get there in a minute. Hold on.
A shout out to everybody in chat right now. I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces. I love that.
Ew. So, this guy right here. If I go back, nope, wrong way. Here. Okay, this right here.
Does it show the sticker, or are you trying to show
Yes, the fucking sticker, dude.
I didn't even know. I somehow missed this when I opened it. Yes, yeah, it's got a sticker for when you put your holes in.
Yes, so these holes.
Yeah.
line up
Oh yeah, I
real
love that.
weird.
I use that too. That thing was slick as hell.
Fucking A, man. I haven't.
You didn't even have to have a ruler to do that. It was
but-
You
nice.
should have seen. I try to do it with my eyes, man.
Oh my god. Oh my
I don't
god. How
use
long did that
measuring
take?
tapes, man. I don't use a measuring tape.
I literally did the same thing. I get so excited that I don't look at everything first. So I open it and I literally was like, okay, I'm gonna.
This is my measuring
And then I
tape.
kept
Use
going
my
and saw
hand.
that.
Use my hand and then hold it over. You know, you go like that and then you carry it over. You take a piece of paper. Oh,
Yeah,
that's why I
literally
had
the
to like
same.
redo it like 3 times until I could get it to work. But yeah, if I would have saw the sticker, I would have used that for sure. Anyways, but yeah, so you're vegging then, I guess, and your poops, your very first run, you're just gonna do 4 different spectrums, and
So it's monocrop keeper because I'm super familiar with it. And the old timer who unfortunately passed away 20 some years ago mentioned to me that these clones or this strain will do better under 400 waters. If you have a multiple canopy of 400 waters, will do better than under lesser count 1,000 waters. And he was absolutely right. My old keeper does better under less light. Seems
Oh.
weird.
well, it's some plants strains don't like a lot of light,
That
like
won't
that.
surprise me.
like that MK cross.
Fuck me. I still have that cut. Man, I gotta try it again and I can so look up, like flip it from 6 inches and go.
Well, you know what? It's like if someone took that crop and was able to like S1 it and then got like a different variety out of that, it could be extremely valuable.
Oh, it yields well, like the grams per
I
whatever.
know, but I'm saying is this like, so I'm just going to explain to everybody what happened to me when Ming Dynasty was shutting down and I finally got my MK strain back and I got an MK cross. He must have like swapped his hands with it and threw out the MK. And then I sent the MK cross to Poops and 3 other people across Canada to preserve it. And we had just grown it out and seen that, hey, it has got MK in it, but it's a cross. It doesn't like a lot of light. It gets these little buds, but it yields like you can still yield really, really well. But yeah, it's got the smell. It's got the half flavor. It's just not full MK. It's like it's definitely just some sort of cross or maybe a pheno of it. I don't know. But it's definitely not the
Yeah,
one.
like it's a beautiful smoke. The flavor is tremendous. Like it's a nice sweet flavor. It doesn't have that incensey fucking funeral smell that I hate about the Kushes. That's a lot of things. Like a lot of the Kushes, like purple Kush, platinum Kush, pink Kush, Cushy. Like keep down the line. It has
Well-
that incensey fucking smell. Like when you smoke a bowl and you walk into the room a minute later, it has that fucking I just been at a funeral smell. I hate that shit.
Well, purple and platinum I hate. But I was just gonna say the pink I think smells a lot better personally. But the purple and platinum I hate with the passion. Give me a baseball bat.
Right. But the Death Bubba, the MK, the Gary Payton, there's a slew of strains in that ballpark of flavors that have that nice lingering palate flavor. Like it smokes while you roast a bowl of it. It burns clean. It's got that, an hour later, Like you had a dab, it lingers with you. It's good. It's a proper flavor. I'm all about that. But I hate that funeral incense smell. Zero. Like I've had, what is it? Not the headband strains, but the triangle something, purple triangle.
Triangle Kush.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm sure it tests super high on the test. Like you send it to a lab, fucking stellar. But I hate the high. Like I've had
I
too much
believe Triangle
caffeine.
Kush is what's behind the wedding cake stuff, and I'm like almost allergic to that, so I don't like to smoke that one myself.
It's not pleasant. It is not.
Wow.
I don't care what it fucking says on the lab test. If I don't like the high, bye bye. Next.
I agree. I think that's honestly that's what I'm growing for. Is I'm growing for the effect above everything. A lot of people nowadays say that they're growing for flavor. They're growing for terpenes. Everybody's saying that. That's the popular thing to say. But I still would like you to find a grower that tells me I'm going to smoke that one, even though it doesn't get me high, just because it tastes good. I've yet to find a grower tell me that.
What's funny how you said that because it doesn't get you high and then growing for the high. Because like
Yeah,
I don't like when I encountered lots of cannabis, yeah. If it's not getting me high, I don't like it. But I think my biggest issue is the flavor or taste or how it's burning it not being clean enough for me is my biggest issue with so many strains. It's like Marcus brought up a really good point to me when he gets it into this beautiful, or when it's been extracted and into this beautiful 6-star holy grail. It doesn't matter what it is. It's at its best form. And when like, it's going to be kind of enjoyable almost, or you're not going to hate it the same way. Or
yeah, I agree with
it's
that.
going to
for
be
sure.
clean. And like, I don't know, like, and that's kind of opened my eyes to wanting to try so many more things that I wouldn't normally like.
Yeah, if you look at like from a hash aspect, if you put your hash glasses on and you're looking through the world of hash only, plant material is a contaminant. It's not desirable. So having that in your bud, that I mean, you hand a bud to a hasher, they want to extract that. They don't want to smoke and consume the plant material. That's like offensive.
yield.
most of them.
Look at the yield. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that too.
But
They're
like
just
my old-
they're instead of being flower farmers, they're resin farmers.
right. Totally. Like GML hates my old keeper. Like it's not his thing. But for me, it takes my breath away. Like I can only smoke so much till I can't breathe. It's what I'm after, man. It should take your breath away. Like it's a hard fucking export A green, tobacco.
Yeah.
Called Green Death in British Columbia. That's what we called it growing up, man. I remember a kid stealing a whole van full of those things, man, when we were kids. We were smoking Green Death for months. No filter. Oh, man, they're so harsh. Oh,
Yeah, but it's got that kick to the brain, like you only so much, it fucking gets
you get dizzy, man. First one in the morning will get you dizzy. Get a crazy head rush, man.
Yep.
Green Death. Yeah, totally. Yeah, hash plants are where it is. Oh, I thought he was first meant hash plant. It's like, yeah, if we could find, we'd go back to that old hash plant, man.
Oh, dude, I just got my hands on a 30-year-old cut of White Widow.
Really?
Yeah, really.
That sounds good.
That sounds amazing.
In 1996, I got some incredible White Widow. I can remember it like it was yesterday. It was just like I can put myself back in the guy's house. And yeah, so there was some beautiful White Widow back then, but it's been quite some time.
Well, it's good stuff, Poops. You need to get a cut to GML so you can send it to get it tissue cultured. Save that sucker.
Unrooted cuts. I got to make them survive. I stripped them down out of fear of fucking bugs because, man, it's always a fear, right? When somebody brings you a cut and you're like, you know what? I swear it's clean. Do you fucking trust a hooker that says, you don't need condoms?
Not
Well, she seems reputable.
Yeah.
well. The thing is, you have to also put in there that she's been 30 years in the game too.
Oh, like fuck. I'm going hard. I stripped it down to bare nipples and like it's in quarantine. It's in a like Javex bleach fucking moat in its own little segment of the. Oh, dude, I'm being super careful, but it looks good. I think I'm good. I just gotta wait for roots. All right, we got like fucking Charlene all flustered now.
I just think that would be. I think that would be the best. Like if I was a tissue culture person and I was passionate about tissue culture, and I am interested in tissue culture, I'm pretty thankful for it. But if I was one of the guys doing it and kind of, seeing its benefits, I would want to do a tissue culture for free on a plant that was 30 years old. just to say, this is what it's like when you grew it and it was 30 years old clone. And now I'm going to tissue culture, clean it up, and you're going to see a difference. Are we? I'm super interested to know.
I think the bottom line is that you're not spreading AIDS. Like, you just want to be fucking sure that this is clean. It has no living bugs, and it's got no viruses, and it's got no bacterial, and it's got no, like, here it is.
Well, that's what I mean. And what do you think the odds out of a strain that's been alive for 30 years of it to have any of those things? I think it's going to have probably a couple of each.
See, depends on the person. If you got this old hippie that lives in the middle of fucking nowhere, and that's all he's ever had his whole fucking life, nobody coming in, nobody leaving out.
Yeah, if he
All
lived
he's
in
got-
Antarctica, I would give you that. Yeah. Where
Right.
there isn't just, ambient shit.
But popular people who swap things in out all the time, man, that's a gamble. That's like casino level.
It is, but
Nice,
it's,
buddy.
but when you told me 30-year-old white widow, that's worth that gamble to me. I'll take that gamble all day long.
Over fucking pheno hunting seeds, 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and that's why I took it in.
You're growing that right now?
Did it have something? Sorry, did I miss? So it was sick. It did have something on it? Or
No, it looks fucking stellar, but I'm taking every goddamn precaution known to man.
Almost every single clone I got for my outdoor harvest from the dispos last year had fucking bugs. It was bullshit. I don't even think I'm gonna do it this year. I'm just gonna start all from seed because every single one of them had bugs. Every one.
Like having a protocol to take some random thing in and like have a system in place where no matter what it's got, you have a plan. By the time you run it through its course, you're confident that it's clean. Man, like fuck, it's a big deal. Like, whew.
I can think of a light called the Predator that would help in that.
Yeah, I was gonna say these days I'm not too worried about it anymore. To be quite honest, guys. Unfortunately, it's still gonna be a few months for everybody else, but those days are coming soon.
You have a light meter coming out, GMO?
A light meter?
Yeah, they were asking in the chat earlier
Oh,
on
shit.
if you have one coming out.
Honestly, what
Come on,
I've
guys.
been using is the that Pulse, Pulse Pro. It's expensive, so I had to splurge, but I got one because it's a Pulse, which is great, and it also reads a lot of other things like CO2, but it's got a light meter on it, and that's what I was doing when I was setting up the controller. I was just like dimming it by 1% by 1% by 1% to get it exactly where I wanted it, and it was wonderful to be able to have almost instant results. I'm sitting with that pulse meter under the light, and it gives me the results on my phone. And then once I get my reading, I just walk over to the controller and just adjust either up or down. It was pretty sweet.
I to be quite honest, like I had thought about it, and like it'd probably be a pretty simple thing for us to develop and do. But we have more important stuff on the menu right now. So it's like right now, highest priority, Tarantula Predator. Then what's coming after Predator is the Tarantula Volcano. And well, at the same time, sorry, I don't even know what it's called yet, but the Tarantula UVB UVA is coming. Like it's already done. I've like applied pressure for us to finish the actual certification part on it. So yeah, but those three items are coming. Well, Predator, Volcano, and then the UVB UVA. And then we can start looking at making cool accessories and other things to, well, here's one other thing.
Voyager. We got the Voyager coming too.
Oh, well, yeah, with those are already, we've announced those is what I mean.
Okay.
Voyager and Borg Evo are out. And then what will be next after that is a controller that does all irrigation valves, that hooks up to the dehumidifiers. And we'll see, like I've been trying to avoid in our controller controlling the air conditioning. Like this, well, first of all, and the reason why I've seen so many people get screwed over using Trollmaster and like people mad at them and stuff when their shit screws up and it's like not the right temperature. And I just I don't know. Like I was one of those people who used it and had it fail on me too. And I don't want the responsibility of controlling the air conditioning really, but I don't know what we'll see. And here's another thing is, what's that?
Me and you have to have a private conversation about how it works. But I get, Trollmaster will not work the way I want it to work.
Well, that's the thing is it doesn't even control mini splits properly. It doesn't. It's no different than controlling it on a controller.
Okay, so what it's doing is it's relying on it being a cooling only feature. Like if you run Trollmaster, it wants to not have anything to do with heat. It wants to cool only. So it's either more cool or less cool. That's all it wants to know. But in a lot of people's situation, like mine, the mini split has to do both cooling and heating. So there's a mode where you set your mini split to AI where it has to go from in the daytime cooling to nighttime heating. But there's a threshold, there's a deadband between the two where the mini split doesn't want to switch from heating to cooling unless it has to, right? In order to flip flop back and forth, it's hard on the hardware. It doesn't want to do that. So
But-
there's a big overlap between it flipping from cooling to heating, and it doesn't do it in time. And when it does, it's stuck in the heating mode, and then it overshoots your heating where it should be cooling, but it's not. There's a
But-
simple solution to that. It can all be dealt with in code, but it has to be like, are you achieving temperature? Yes or no? High or low? Go up by 1, up or down, right? It's on your remote. You have an up or a down, right?
The thing is it works well in a regular split unit. In a mini split, it doesn't with Trollmaster. Like with a regular split unit, and this is why I actually like the Trollmaster controller on a regular split unit, because it has a deadband where you can make it more accurate, so it's not as big of a wide of a range before the air conditioner turns on. And when you're using it on a mini split, it appears that it's working, but it doesn't. I've talked to them at Trollmaster, and so the deadband doesn't work on a mini split. So
Right.
if that's the case, then it's like, what's the point of using it? Just use your controller. Or most mini splits have an application. So it's like with my Samsung, I just use an application. But anyways, that's potentially on the menu one day, but definitely not. We're
Me and
working
you
on
have to have a
finishing off our-
conversation about how that works, and we can make it work. I swear to God, there's a simple solution, but they're ignoring it.
Oh, and someone said a 2x4 Borg. Oh, there's probably a 2x4 Voyager on the menu, but I would still say it's a little ways out. But we probably will make it. It's just, come on, guys. How many lights can you make in a year?
There was a question earlier in chat about do we have clone lights, and I would recommend maybe one of those bar lights, like the leafy bar, depending on how many clones you're trying to light up. What would you
The
say? for
reproduction
clone?
bars. I just got some of those in for my clones.
Well,
Nice.
like a set of those does a 2x4 area if you're cloning.
Perfect.
Um,
You can get a lot of clones in a 2x4 area.
And here's I see 93 Deluxe says inter canopy, under canopy. Well, here's the thing is when we first launched in the first year, we saw like another inter canopy light that was already made, and we looked into it and did a whole bunch of research, full inter canopy. And I got in touch with someone who did a whole bunch of the R&D for Philips. Philips made a whole bunch of these, and running 60-watt inter canopy lights. Where there's a guy that did a heck of a bunch of research, and he only gained 2% on his crops, and the amount of added work that it caused was insane. So we don't think that we think the under canopy is actually better, because what we've seen results from an inter canopy and seen someone that did a whole bunch of R&D, and he said that having them in the inside also was it caused so much work for them, cleaning every single run and everything too. So, sorry, what is this? This is you're just showing the torch here?
I was looking for the video where there was a bunch of canopy lighting. There was a bunch of panda film on the lower half of the canopy.
On one of our posts?
I'm pretty sure it was Mandy's video. Fuck, I wish I could find it. It wasn't this guy. Fuck. There was panda film on the lower half. I'm pretty sure it's Mandy's videos. Hold on, I'll try and find it. She had
What about it?
light reflecting panda film on the bottom half of the canopy. It looked amazing.
Oh, on the like on the bot, like almost covering the bottom, so that any light that got through the plant would be reflected back up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Fuck, where the hell did I see that?
I don't remember.
Oh,
I think that's a good idea. I do like, and I like the cleanliness look of it.
oh my fucking god!
Justin's
Unrelated note.
room is kind of like that. It's pretty white.
You want to see Pure Sativa on day 58?
Wow, man. Wow.
Dude. Day 58. I'm not even joking.
Throw it out. Just teasing you.
Jeez.
Oh, buddy. Like
I'll not throw it out. Don't throw that out. I want to know what
I'm
that's made from.
joking. I'm joking.
Yeah,
But
keep.
at day 58, when you've gone that far, you got to finish it. But like, is it going to be something that you like?
You should be harvesting it next year, man. You'll be all right.
The 2026 crop. Like, fuck. Oh.
I've got some haze for days from Mr. Toad that I want to get into hopefully before the end of the year. And I imagine it's going to go just like that.
Just bad. But yeah, man, I like the idea of the white film on the lower half because there was a good amount of airflow on the top. But you would balance off that excess, like that surplus light back into the lower canopy, man. Like it's free light. I like the idea.
What I was gonna say is, so back to where I saw this person that had the intercanopy light, did all the research. We had one that I could have used, or I would have changed it a little bit. And you know, we decided not to because I saw someone that did legit more R&D than anyone. Then Maven, or I think it's called Maven, came out, and these other under canopy lights started coming out and people started using them. And then I started keeping in touch with some people who are using them, and legitimately after I saw enough results, they clearly were working very well and making a really big difference. And that's why we've moved forward. And that's why we didn't go with the inter canopy, but we got something special about ours, guys. And I don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet, but I just trust me on it, where I'm saying, if you guys can trust me, if you like what we've done so far with our other lights and cool stuff, I can promise we're blowing everybody just right out of the park. And I just don't want to show my design yet because I know as soon as we do, it's going to be copied. And that's the bottom line. So we came up with a very clever idea that, again, I don't know how nobody else was thinking about it. Yeah, I saw this. Yeah, this is going to be crazy, huh?
I had not seen this. That's pretty cool. Why isn't there solar power on its head, a panel, and on his back? It's out there in the
Man, I
field.
don't
Might
want
as well
this
get
thing
charged up.
fucking lifting pots and hand watering plants all day long.
No, but he can go out there and cut the weeds down.
Right? Oh,
He can harvest my cover crop for me. Chop and drop, bro.
Yeah,
Look
they
at that.
should have a little thing be sucking in power while they're working in the sun.
Exactly. Put some solar panels on his back. That's wasted space. And on his head.
Or they have like a cable attached to like a big battery bank where like a huge solar panel thing, and they have like lines. I know, it's like I was listening to Elon Musk talk about those robots, and like, to me in his head, when I was listening to him, he doesn't give a crap about the cars anymore. Like, he doesn't. Yeah, they're doing well, but his plan is those robots are going to replace everything, and that's where all the money is for him. And it's like, it might take him a few more years to get him to work perfect before, but once he does, it's like, man.
He's already talking about putting them on the assembly lines. So he's gonna be replacing his own workers.
Well, why? It's crazy. Oh, someone said that video's not real. Oh, everybody's saying that video's not real. Oops.
But possible. So like fuck smoke breaks and fucking lunch breaks and wipe all that shit out. You got robots working 24/7. No complaints. No,
We're getting John Connor here. We're getting John Connor down here, man.
You know, if one gets crushed by a fucking part, who gives a shit? Fucking replace it.
So what you're saying is I need to learn robotics so I can fix robots and I'll always have a job.
Yes.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
okay.
Yep.
How is John Connor doing these days?
He's driving a Honda XR80 by.
No, did he not? Isn't he like one of those stars that like totally just got in a whole bunch of shit once they got a little bit older? Like the kid from Star Wars with charges and shit. I'm gonna have to follow up on John Connor, but I definitely know that kid from the Star Wars, Anakin, you know, he went crazy getting too famous too young, and it really affected him in a negative way. Yeah, we do need John Connor on the panel. All these damn robots.
See, we got tagged in YouTube chat. Mandy says the controllers 25% off as well when purchasing new lights during the sale. And the sale ends tomorrow at midnight Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah, and I'll bring it up one more time, is that
Wow.
the
I didn't know we
Tarantula,
marked down the controller too. That's cool.
the Tarantula Borg Evolution is never going to go on sale again for this amount. That's just a fact, guys. So just letting everybody know, it's never going to go again this cheap. We wouldn't be able to operate. So this is, you have till tomorrow, midnight. What else we got, guys? It's 7:36. So tonight
So
we're
if somebody wants to pre-order, I don't know if you went over this already, but if they're interested in pre-ordering that light, are they going to be able to do that through the website, or they have to get a hold of somebody?
No, it's just on both USA and Canada. You can go right into the website. As soon as you go to, you put it in your cart, and as you go to checkout, the discount will be automatically applied. Right
Oh,
now,
sweet.
like I said, it's the Tarantula Borg Evo is going for $1,105, and the Voyager is $900. So just look at what, I'm gonna say that again: 1,105, 4 Inventronics drivers, 5,600 diodes. And 900, 5,310, and 2 Inventronics drivers. It's the best deal and the best value that's ever been produced by anybody that's ever been presented, even without the discount.
Yeah, if there's a discount on top of that, it makes it crazy.
Yeah, so yeah.
GML, there was a question in the chat. Which light has the HPS setting? Question mark.
We'll just scroll up there. All 3 at the top can do an HPS. The Tarantula, Borg, Evolution, and Voyager all can do the HPS spectrum.
So is there like a Hortilux 1000 setting in there I haven't found?
Pardon?
Is there like a Hortilux 1000?
No, that's actually the one thing is you have to custom put it in. We didn't put it in there. But there's in our controller, there's 27 custom presets that you can save. So you can program whatever you want. And yeah. So
I'll be honest,
See-
I was hoping for that Hortilux 1000 setting.
well, you know what? I probably should, but I didn't even make the spectrum until I started playing with it myself. But yeah,
That's
if I could redo it, poops, I would have put the HBS spectrum in there. But if we're gonna be making like a section on our website that shows other spectrums too, and just like I said, we're gonna be having a whole Discord where we're all gonna be sharing a whole bunch of information, crop by crop.
I haven't fucked with it, but can I plug in a certain dial setting that I want and save it?
Yeah, absolutely. You can save up to 27 custom settings.
On top of the 60 presets?
Yep. That's what I'm saying. It's like you can save up to 27 of your own. So it's like, what else? And there's literally over 500 possibilities. So
Through the app or directly through the display?
someone said I'm going to sell my car to buy a light.
they were asking. I'm pretty sure that you were talking US dollars when you're giving those numbers out, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Canada, we're going broke. We're losing huge for that. Well, like I said, that's what I was saying. This is the only time we'll ever be able to do it because it's not sustainable for us to. So, and yeah, there is, Emily, there is a GML Discord coming. We haven't set it up yet, but it's going to be set up very, very soon.
Man, I cannot make heads or tails of fucking Discord. I'm sorry, but it makes no sense to me.
It's just like trying to use
I was the same way, Poops. And what solved my problem was don't put it on your damn phone, put it on your computer, and it works a million times fucking better.
As I tried to use it for AI, I was trying to do like 3D printing where I could ask it what I want, describe a print job, and have it create me an STL file where I could just print. And fuck me, man, none of them are doing that yet.
ChatGPT might be able to do that.
Nope.
No,
Google Bard might, but it's a US only thing, which because of Trudeau and fucking
Bard won't be able to do it. That's the one I like to use the most, but it won't be able to do that stuff. It's better for like text-based stuff.
Bard does STL though.
Does
I
it?
think it's like anything. Like you try to come into any new thing and you can't use it at first, and it's like, what am I doing? Or trying to use it on your. I suck at using anything on my phone. Like I literally probably or at least a few times a week, I need help from Mandy because I can't do it. Or I don't know how, or like, I'm just, I'm decent on a computer, but I'm dyslexic. So trying to like follow instructions or reading or trying to do something is sometimes impossible for me. I know it's hard for people to understand, but sometimes I can't. Like I could literally just weird. I have real struggling using new software or something that I can't
feel that
figure-
way when I try to use anything iPhone or Mac. I'm like, this is like a
Oh,
foreign
man.
language. I can't even use this. What is going
Yeah.
on? There's only
Yeah,
one
Mac
button.
is
What
like
am I
just
supposed to
spinning
do?
circles. Let's just give up.
That's the thing too. Is like there's like no buttons to use, but you're still just like, what the fuck? Can't
Bubble
even
Man
use
is
it.
like full Apple. Oh, man.
My fucking a bunch of friends I know are on Apple. They'll call me up for some tech support help. Like, listen, you are talking a different language. I don't know that language. Fuck off. Like, go away. I don't know. I can't help you. You speak Android or go away.
I know it's well, just me going from BlackBerry Android to Samsung Android. Like I not having a keyboard. I was a little bit stressful for a little bit, but oh my goodness, I don't think I could go back to like a BlackBerry anymore after using my like it's just so much nicer, so much bigger screen. Everything about it I like better.
Does BlackBerry still exist? Or are they still on?
They discontinued their last model. They kept on saying they weren't going to, and they kept on coming out with a newer model. It's like went through like 10 of them in like their last couple of years. Then I kept on buying them after they were discontinued until I couldn't buy them anymore. And then I finally was like I couldn't charge my phones anymore. I was having issues and forced into Samsung, and now I'm happy.
Taking 8 goats for a light. Is there a goat trading process?
Yeah, there were what the Tasmanian devil. I think he was wanting to know if you would take 8
Yeah.
goats for a light.
I would
I'm
consider
dying
are you
over
in
here.
British Columbia?
I
would
just turned and
consider
asked
goats.
Emily. I'm like, what the hell's going on in chat? They're trading animals now? What's going on?
Yeah, we
the
got
price
a-
of milk, fucking 8 goats will give you like 2 gallons a day. I don't know, man.
Man, they're talking
Oh.
about 8 goats. I see the word divorce going on up there. Like shit is hitting the fan over your life.
Hey, 8 goats, GML. You wouldn't have to mow the grass anymore. They do a number on your grass.
I just want to know we'll do anything for a GML light.
Uh-oh. There you go, GML.
Anything?
The offer's out there. That's what it's saying. That's the kind of chat we have. I love
Oh, shit.
them.
But man, I love the spread. That's one thing I gotta say. Like, I've been after the spread forever, ever since when we did the transition from the Hortolux 1000, the old Avenger fucking hood. Then we went into like the hotspot fucking 500-watt fixtures, and then I started buying the 300-watt side lighting to try and get the canopy to spread properly. And like, man, I'm at a point now where it's the opposite. I'm doing side plants because there's wasted light. I'm on the 4x8 table with 2 fixtures, and I can grow like 2-ounce plants on the outer edge.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how that works. If you wanted uniformity, though, you should go Tarantula tent.
Oh,
If you
fuck
want
you!
real
I just buy new lights. Shit, no.
Well,
I do love that
seriously.
tarantula tent. It's such a sweet freaking light. I grew my last crop underneath that.
Oh, I love it so much too.
But they're just nothing that can touch the uniformity of them. They're just the absolute
So good.
best of the best.
Those torches are pretty impressive too for the uniformity. If you ask me, the 730? That torch uniformity. I don't know if you're gonna see much better than that other than our tent light.
No, you mean it's the tent ultimate 4x4.
The tent ultimate. Yeah, 4x4
Not
or
the Torch
5x5.
730. Yeah, we
The
got
torch 730 is
tricoms.
also a good one.
We got tricoms from the UK. I think he's our friend. He's English but identifies as Scottish. I'm just kidding. Sorry, just joking there, buddy. I just invited you up. You got to accept. Don't take offense to that. If it's not Scottish, it's crap.
There's a question in chat from Northern Maine. Weed gnome. Gmail, how are your eyes from all the light in your room? Do you use glasses? Absolutely use glasses. Absolutely use
You
glasses.
have to, or like, you know what? You need a hat on, like just blocking any like direct light, at least bare minimum. If you don't have, like, I'll wear it like up and like higher up and pointing down almost.
That shit
Yo,
says I'll see your goats and raise you a fatted goose.
Dude, I go, I accept. I call.
Hey,
Man.
there's
Bring
one,
it in.
there's
I
one
can use-
before that said firstborn child. They said she's being a pain in the ass lately anyway.
I know. On both chats. You've been
like-
offered the firstborn child on both chats.
Dude,
Hey,
I would
guys,
put 2 goats up against 1 goose because the goose are fucking pricks, man.
Hey, they
Have a goose,
geese
man.
can be
They're jackasses, man. They'll fucking.
You have one?
I grew up with them bastards. They're
I
aggressive.
know that
Yeah,
they can be
they're-
pretty aggressive.
They're pretty good for keeping shit out of your yard.
Give me 2 goats, man. They're awesome.
Well, we have so much grass, and I'm like going to be planting in the next couple of months. You know, where last year I was dealing with all those weeds over and over. I've stripped everything up, and I'm about to put soil down. And I don't know. I'm going to have to find time in the next 2 months to get this done, and then plant grass everywhere. And there's going to be like 2 acres of grass to cut. Goats
You're
would be nice.
planting grass.
Yeah.
Why?
In between all my blueberry beds, so there's no more weeds where all the gravel was. Like it's like a
If you're good, just mow the weeds if you're just gonna mow grass.
But don't you think like I'm putting down? It'll be like this nice green lawn everywhere. It'll just be it's so nice.
Sounds like
Like-
a lot of work to grow grass. Grass is not something that like. Do you eat grass? Do you? Well, I guess you could harvest
the whole
it and
point,
make it.
the whole
potable.
point is though, like because I built all this and I put gravel down everywhere, and for 2 years I could have just cut the weeds, but then it's just like they're growing more and they're like I've stripped all the weeds, all the gravel, putting down nice soil. Then it's just gonna be like a nice I'll send you a picture, but in our orchard it's all just this nice green grass, and it's just so easy to maintain. Don't have weeds everywhere.
Did you put anything below the rocks, or you just dump straight rocks?
I jumped. It was I had brought in sand, so it's sand below the
Okay.
rocks.
And you
So,
still got weeds. Wow. Okay.
oh, dude, like I'm talking. We had to hire people. Like on one, like we were. It was insane. Like the year previous to this, like I was costing me like at least like probably $120 to $150, or maybe even $160 for 4 months of the year a day. Just
What
trying
were
to
they
keep
doing?
up.
Pulling weeds?
Yeah, just trying to pull weeds.
Just get a torch, man. Just get out there and just burn them
Yeah,
up.
man, I'm saying it was that like it's even with the torch, you just can't keep up with it for how much there is. I'll have to send you some of the pictures or videos that I have. It's just it's so overwhelming. You'd just be like, it would, at our place right here where we have Round Rock where I'm living, and we don't have this issue. We have it all between all our aisles of blueberries, and it's easy to pull out if anything comes in. It's not the same thing, but we put this I thought putting crushed gravel over there would be more compact because it's nicer to walk on, but it's like weeds just grow right out of crushed, like thin crushed
Just
gravel.
like it's dirt, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. Like honestly, it's depressing trying to battle those things, man. Like we've cleaned them all out and then thought we're going to deal with it and then didn't deal with it and had to just do it like dozens of times. And if you just let it go, it will just override everything. You know what I mean? And like all over the blueberry.
Yeah, I would just throw it. Usually what I do between my beds is, but I have a lot smaller. It's just a couple beds, but I just throw cardboard down, get it wet so it stays there and becomes part of the ground after a while.
Yeah, well, no, cardboard would work would work really well. Dude, I was just gonna say, Charlene, let's pull up Nightbot. Tonight we're giving away a Tarantula Vulcan Black. I didn't know we had it. I don't know if it's either brand new or if it's been used for one crop, but we have a Tarantula Vulcan Special Black Edition.
That
There was
black one. Oh, we didn't make very many of those.
No, there was only maybe 7 or something. I don't even know how many made of the black ones.
What makes it black?
We were originally
Is it
going
bigger?
we were going to originally paint or make it in black because it was a tarantula, and then we realized that we were shooting ourselves in the foot because it cost us 5% efficacy because of the black
Sure,
color.
sure.
I totally heard that.
What did I miss?
I asked if it was a little bit bigger.
He says, "What makes it black? Is it a little bit bigger?"
Oh, jeez, I missed that.
Oh, shit's killing me tonight. The chat is killing me. I'm going to say, I know we don't have shout outs yet, but I'm just going to RIP Despicable Dabs out there. The wifey's out there in the chat after he's been talking all this is about a light. She popped up in there. So I'm going to RIP him right now. Because he told her to get in the kitchen. Hold the mayo or some shit. She was like, I'm already in the kitchen. So, yeah, R.I.P. Despicable.
Did you say
Dabs.
hold the mayo?
Yeah, he said something like that. And she was like, yeah, I'm already in the kitchen. So,
I've
yeah.
heard somebody say that.
Oh, it's great out there.
Mayo.
He's trying so hard either to die tonight or get a light. I don't know.
Yeah.
Watch your back, man. Watch your back.
So the Vulcan V2 Black Special Edition is a special super light. It's got more diodes than any other light that's really ever been made besides the Borg. It's 5,400 diodes, and it's basically like a super light with far red on a separate channel with a removable driver that can also fold. So we are Yeah, it's gonna be a nice one to win.
Oh, dude, of all the things,
That also works with our controller. So you could make those two channels do independent of each other, which is cool.
You know what's
You can
funny is
do
that last time
commercial.
we gave it away, there was multiple people that were like, "Hey, can I buy a black edition one?" And I was like, "The black one's 5% less like efficacy when like usable light for what?" They wanted it just the special black
Well,
color.
the same thing goes for all of the people that like, and I love it that they're willing to do this, but you won't see it in my grow room is like banners, different company banners and things like that. If it's not more reflective than whatever your wall is or panda film or whatever you got going on there, why are you hanging something over it that's not, especially if it's dark like black or, that's going to absorb light. So yeah, stop hanging banners on your grow walls. You want to
It
bounce
just
that
made me
light back to your
realize we
plants.
need to make our banners out of Mylar.
oh,
There you go. There you go.
This made me
when's the
give
last
me an
time you bought a
idea.
100-foot roll of fucking Mylar film?
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Give me
We
white.
just-
I prefer white to fucking mirror.
We just got like a whole bunch of banners coming actually. We sourced them in China. I realized we
so
need to
nice.
make our banners out of Mylar.
Oh,
There you go. There you go.
96P. Made me who
man.
is taking
When's
it
the last
down?
time you bought a
Idea.
100-foot roll of fucking Mylar film being building last couple of
It's
days?
been a while.
I'm hoping the Lions are taking it down tomorrow.
Give me white.
just-
I prefer white to fucking
building a
mirror.
12-volt
pump
We just
sprayer
got
bucket.
like a
I'm
whole
building
bunch
a
of
5-gallon
banners
bucket
coming
with a
actually.
little
We sourced them in
diaphragm
China.
pump with a
I realized we
You
need
know
to
the
make
old
our
like the
banners out of
3-gallon pumps you
Mylar.
pump, 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 pump. It's got a little spray wand.
There you go. There you go.
I use the one
96P. Made
to
me,
connect to a
who
diaphragm
is
pump.
taking
When's
it
the last
down?
time you bought a
PSI?
100-foot roll of fucking Mylar film being
12-volt
building
pump.
last couple of
It's
days?
been a while.
And it's hanging off the edge of a 5-gallon bucket with a little 12-volt battery at the bottom, iron phosphate M1 cells. Fuck, man, it's great because I can walk around the garden, I can blast away the deck, I can clean stuff, but I'm not looking for a plug or an outlet that's not maxed out to plug shit in, and I'm not tethered to a hose or a watering wand with a pump. I can just walk around the table and clean stuff. It's beautiful, man. It's a little,
Oh, it's a wireless pump. I like it.
it's a battery-powered 5-gallon bucket spray wand. It's fucking awesome. I'll have pictures
Wait,
up on Instagram later
That's
this
cool, man.
You said battery powered?
Yeah, battery
12-volt.
powered, and it
Yeah,
pulls
yeah.
from basically your 5-gallon bucket's your res, and you're just pulling, you're pumping out of that, and
Yep.
pushing it through the
Kind
sprayer
of
head.
sounds
That's
like
cool.
a fogger. Homemade fog, like, or is it gonna fog or is it gonna spray?
You could put whatever nozzle you want, but it's a 12-volt pump shooting through a 6-foot hose with a spring-loaded trigger, but it's powered by 12-volt battery, so you're not plugged into the wall. You can walk around with it, and you can just clean. Because in my case, like everything's on a scale, everything's clean. It's all being sent from the pump, from the reservoir, but from the time where I got my solo cups to the 1-gallon pots or whatever, I do some transplanting. There's soil that hits the fucking table. I just want to keep everything clean. I can walk around with my bucket and my wand, and I'm not tethered to a wall. I can just go around and blast everything down to the gutter, keep everything clean. It's a beautiful thing. You watch Instagram next week. I'll have pictures of it. It's beautiful.
Nice.
That's awesome. I just want to make an announcement for anyone on the Bubbleman's channel. Make sure you could move over to the Grandmaster Level Show channel
I have
on
put the
YouTube.
link. I pinned the link up their chat too.
Okay, because this chat bot's only going to pull out of the Grandmaster Level YouTube for this drawing.
Oh man, French fries and gravy. I could so go for a poutine right now.
Yeah. Oh
Chicken
man.
gravy, fucking beef, fucking chunks, pepperoni slices.
What's
cheese
going on?
curds.
You got wait, what's going on? Poutine, pepperoni chunks, and a poutine?
Oh, I got the munchies, man. It's something serious. Fuck.
Is that what you guys do back east? You guys put pepperoni chunks in a poutine? That's
Oh, fuck
offensive
yeah,
here, man.
Yeah,
You serious? That's
fresh cut
offensive.
fries, cheese curds, chicken gravy, beef, fucking chunks, and pepperoni slices. Oh yeah, buddy.
I've heard that Montreal is supposed to have the best poutine. I don't know if that's true.
They fucking stole the term. You know, it's a poutine. It's a Quebec thing, but fuck them. They got it wrong.
What is a
okay.
poutine?
I was just gonna say I've never had that.
You guys don't know what a poutine is?
I
Nah.
just
Fries with
turned
cheese
and
and
asked.
gravy, or fries with gravy and cheese. You never heard poutine?
Fries with
With
gravy
cheese?
and
And
cheese.
cheese melted over top. You've never heard of a poutine?
What?
No, I've never heard of that, and that doesn't
That's-
sound very good either.
That is hilarious.
Whoa, what the fuck? Really? None of you?
No, I've never.
Nah.
What?
No.
Whoa, man.
They have them at most places. Like Wendy's has a poutine. I guess McDonald's doesn't anymore. A&W has a poutine.
Maybe
Right
in
Spot has a
Canada.
poutine.
Yeah, I've never
Maybe in
ever.
Canada they do, but
ever-
not in the United States.
I've seen like fries and gravy and fries and cheese, but I've never seen the two
Yo.
together.
The correct fries, the right kind of gravy, the
Wait,
proper
quite honest,
cheese
I don't-
curds,
I'm
not
not like-
mozzarella, but like
I don't know. I like biscuits and gravy quite a bit, so I would give it a go.
It's not really,
because
it's
of my
not
love
really
for
my
biscuits and
thing,
gravy.
but if you'd never tried it in your life, you probably would like it.
Is it like country gravy or brown gravy or?
Brown gravy.
should be like
Beef
a
gravy.
full-on chicken gravy, like if you cook the
Oh,
turkey
chicken gravy?
Oh, okay,
with the
okay.
fat.
I thought it was beef gravy, poops.
You could, but I prefer the chicken gravy personally.
Interesting.
I always notice it's like a darker gravy for most places.
I don't tend to like soggy fries. In fact, I like to get crispy fries. So that's the part
Yes.
that makes me hesitate.
See, you got to order it on the spot or get it delivered with the gravy on the side, so you can pour it on just before you eat
Okay.
it.
Okay. I can get down with that. Maybe just dip
Yeah,
it in there.
don't get it pre-poured because it's all soggy and garbage.
Oh yeah, I can't. Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah, it's,
No bueno.
last couple times I didn't really enjoy mine, but again, I'm just like, I was eating it. At
You
work.
hesitate when you say that, like you're gonna get strung up for saying something like that.
You're gonna have to fly your ass out to Atlantic fucking over here, 6,000 kilometers away, and I'll treat you to a proper poutine, man.
Poutine.
Well, as long as
I
I
mean,
mean,
they've got like
pepperoni, I'll be okay.
poontang or some shit over here. Poutine.
I am familiar with some poontang. I am familiar with that.
You guys know that? You're
Can't
familiar
put
with that?
poontang any day. Jesus.
Oh shit. Well, we got 248 in there. Should we go for it?
Okay, let's can we do side bets? Who's winning it today? And if you've already won a light, you're disqualified.
I don't think Spartan wins today.
It's for Canada and USA.
Well, I threw out who I wanted to win last week. I'm not going to do it again in case they win. We won't get they won't come after us for rigging the.
Okay, so full on disclosure, you win. What do you do? What do you have to do if you win?
You have
Before
to
you send it.
email Mandy and Mandy@gmlarmy.com. We'll pin it at the very top. actually.
mandy@gmail.com.
Oh my god, this chat is insane.
Go, geez, there's 341 people in there. Okay.
It's going to be too fast
wow.
to pin it for now.
Oh,
can't
someone
even-
just made
yeah.
in time. Wait, let's just give it another 30 seconds for people. I saw someone said I just made it just in time.
I have a chat blown up on its own screen, so that's how big the chat window is, and I still can't read it. It goes by so fast. It's insane. It's like that old show, The Price is Right, when they spin that big wheel. That's what that looks like.
Daniel Jackson, I'm rooting for you. I'm just kidding. Sorry, Carl.
I'm getting into this shit. If I win, I win. I fucking nominate somebody.
Poops, you don't get to win, do you?
Oh, I jump in there, fucking both feet, buddy. Hell yeah.
Poops gonna win and resell. Hey, remember when that person won and then said that they didn't need it and that to give it away to somebody else? I was just like, who
Yeah.
was
That's awesome.
that? Was just honorable. Holy crap!
Yeah.
Just getting more honorable than that. To
Yeah.
salute.
He's actually
What is-
super cool. I actually got permission to use his name, so his name was Ivan. Super cool if you're out there.
Ivan, are you
Oh,
in
that's
chat,
the
Ivan?
man. Big respect.
If you are in, please remind me that if you are in chat, Ivan, because that again, I just have nothing but respect for that because you could have taken it and then just easily sold it or whatever, and then to just kind of spread the love to everybody. That's just awesome, man. I like meeting people like that. I like seeing people do stuff like that.
Yep.
Faith in humanity.
Absolutely.
You know, versus like the week before, someone trying to claim two different
Yeah.
people claiming the same light.
Yeah, man, as long as the intentions are good, you know? Fuck yeah. Positive vibes all the way around.
Yeah, so that's anyways, that's kind of You are out there, that Ivan. That was gangsta. Okay, well, let's
270.
you come up with some merch. I would. No, but we've ordered merch. It's coming. I don't know. Where's Mandy?
Mandy's
I've
out
heard
there
that
too.
before.
I don't
it
want to hear
seems
it. You
like.
guys talk to
Wait a minute,
Mandy
what-
about the merch.
Wait a minute,
Let's talk
GML. Did you
Mandy
say?
now.
Did you say that we're waiting on some hoodies? Is that what you said?
Dude, we spent,
Oh, dude.
trust me, you wouldn't believe how much we've spent on merch. Thousands of dollars. It's coming, guys. It's
Shit better
coming
be
for real. The only
orgasmic right
thing,
now.
we don't have
I
hats yet.
would. I would be upset if I spent $1,000 on merch and I didn't have it.
Well, we're not going to airship it. It's just too expensive to airship merch out to give away.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine what that would be.
But we've got, like I said, I don't even know how many, but there was 3 different people we ordered stuff from, and we ordered a lot from each.
Awesome.
You know, as long as
Yeah,
there's
I
stickers,
got-
at
you
the
had-
very least, include stickers.
See, this sweater is so sick. I love it. We've just got a couple more samples, but oh man, I love it.
We'll have to get one with this tagline on it. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, well, you know what? It should say change is coming and then Grandmaster LEDs right underneath. That is so.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Get that on. That'd be sweet. Just give me a patch. I'll put it here.
I almost put a sticker on just so I could have a GML merch today.
Okay, let's go here. So Golden Goat's taking it down.
All right, guys. Here we go.
3,
3, 2,
2,
1.
2 dogs, 1 goat.
Wheeze in the juice.
Oh, big congrats,
Yeah.
Ethan.
Where my screen frozen? I can't even see. Oh, there we go. Wheeze in the juice.
He's in there. I've seen
He
him all
was in there
night
cracking
long.
me up. He's always in chat. Shout out to
Oh,
Weezen. I love
shit.
seeing people that I see all the time win. That's awesome.
Yeah.
God, did
Wheeze
I...
in the juice.
Congratulations. Email Mandy at gmail.com.
Which chat is he in?
He's in our chat.
GML. He was in GML chat.
I just typed master@gmlarmy.com.
Master. There you go, Mandy. I hope you're still watching and heard that. You better just clip that and just keep that in your pocket.
Oh, there he is. He says, "Hey, yo, thank y'all."
What's up?
If you're
Congratulations,
you-
man.
you
That's
Ninja
such a
Turtles, he's
sick-
got to be at least 30 years old.
That's a pretty sick takedown. Golden Goat, I was rooting for you, bro.
It's a rare light, man. That's a collectible now.
It is. It is definitely a collector's. Yeah, it's kind of funny that how, I thought our panel lights were gonna, like they obviously lots of people bought them, but it's like our bar lights are way more successful. People like a bar light better.
Oh, less hot spot, better spread.
I think if I had a lot of headroom and I wanted to hang my lights high, like how like some facilities will hang them super high up and just leave them there and not move them, I think then I'd probably want the board light. But then like for most home growers, and honestly I've seen a lot of grows now that are doing the stacks, and it does make sense to do the bars, I think, in those situations.
Well, the industry has really kind of changed. It's changed so much in the last 5 years. So basically, at one point, people want efficiency. So the thing is, if people want efficiency, we have it. We've got the most efficient in the world. If that's what you're chasing, we've got it. And then, people are then chasing diversity, or not chasing diversity. If people want diversity, we have it. We've got the most diverse lineup in the world. If you want uniformity, we got it. If you want affordability, we have it, the Torch series. So it took us, kind of a while to figure everything out. And having these 3 new lights is going to make things way easier for lead times for us also, because, the Voyager, the Borg Evo, and the Borg, they're all the same parts. So, before we have all these different lights, every time we need to manufacture them, having to get all these different parts.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was like, so it was, you learn. Like I was in the lighting business, but I wasn't on the manufacturing side before. So it's taken a couple of years for us to kind of figure out our path, but now it's clearer than ever. And we're going full throttle ahead here, guys. And yeah, hopefully I'm going to have an accepted offer next week here. I was just going back and forth with the realtors, so it's pretty exciting. we're gonna have a play soon, pretty much in the USA, and yeah, we're pumped. And trying trichomes, I did accept you to come up on the panel if you wanted to ask a question, but you have to accept it.
Womp, womp, womp. At your own
It's
risk.
like getting hard to speak. Took two huge. I took two like 350 milligram edibles at, I think it was I'm gonna say 7 o'clock or 7:15,
Oh my
and
goodness.
it's kicking in hard.
I ate edible right on the show live, and it's making my eyes half open already.
I'm just having a hard time speaking.
Fuck, I'm 200 milligrams of cubensis in. I'm fucking barely hanging on.
And Grateful says we haven't seen a refurb sale like our old friends have every 3 months. Well, here's the thing: is we
Oh
just
my gosh, we can write our own commercial with just that line itself.
we don't have. Do you know what? In like, I'm gonna say in like 3 months, there's gonna be like 5 or 6 available because we just haven't got around to like replace. There's been like 5 or 6 lights that we have that are gonna be refurbished. We just haven't had the time to fix them yet, but there will be eventually. We'll probably just give them away, to be quite honest, but yeah, we just don't have. We don't have
We don't
this
have
type
it.
of
The answer
diode
is,
failures.
yeah, the
Yeah.
answer is we don't
We
have
don't
enough
have
of them to refurbish, and we're not going to charge you for them when we do. So
No, like
So-
people that are manufacturing out of the USA that have little experience doing it are obviously going to have a lot more failures. When you've been doing it for 18 years, you're going to just have way better results.
So do you plan to have extension cables? Let's say you wanted to remote mount a Borg driver box.
We have the extension if you want to. For
Won't
all-
need it now
every
with the
single
digital
light.
displays, but because it takes 4 cables, right?
No, it takes 2.
2.
Yep. You can do it with 2.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, it's just how it's wired. We're able to do it with 2. So same with the Borg takes 2, the long leg takes 2, but everything else takes 1. So, but every single one of our lights has an extension that you're able to do it with. Do we ever sell any lights with minor damaged, discontinued for a discount? We definitely have some damaged lights from shipping. I don't think we have very many, but we definitely, that has happened to us. But
that does not surprise me, because as awesome as the packing job is, I have seen personally on every box that I get, it's like they had to have a WWE match or something with it before they brought it to my house, because it's like, I don't know if that there's a war that I'm not sure of between the United States and Canada somewhere, but something's going on, man. That's
well, we were
not liking them.
Fucking Hulk Hogan. Have you tried carrying those fucking things around?
I can see why they might be a little upset about having to move
Jesus,
them around.
fuck me, man, dude.
We've had so many issues with insurance. Like, do you know what? Like in the last 2 years, we had so many different insurance for shipping, and like we would get there, we'd accept it, and then we'd get cut off right after 1 or 2 claims. But now, because of how busy we are and like how much we spend on shipping, they don't cut us off ever. So like every single shipment is 100% covered. There's absolutely no worries. All we ask is that take a picture of it before you open it or whatever. But yeah, so that it was kind of stressful and crappy in the first year of business, but now it's like we don't have to worry about any losses from shipping anymore because it's fully covered.
Like, it was a deadly obvious on like few of the ones I got. Somebody jammed their hand through the fucking box just so they could hold it.
Oh,
It's such an awkward fucking box, and it's heavy. Like, oh my god.
oh, you should see Mandy carrying those suckers.
Oh,
They're like
I
50
picture Mandy
pounds.
just throwing one over each arm and just taking 2 at a time.
Yeah, yeah, it's
but it's
Yeah.
still worlds better than a full size unfolded fixture. Try carrying that
Well-
sucker in a box. It's
Well,
a
what-
fucking
First, I'm
DVD
not
by
gonna lie. The
yourself.
first time I carried because my personal grow is in the basement, so I have to go down a stairwell.
Right.
And I was like, when I got the box, I'm like, oh, this might not be fun. And then I saw that it was folded, and once I got all the packing off of it, I'm like, oh, I can just keep it folded, and this is gonna be easy. I don't have to get somebody to help me carry it down the stairs.
2
Well,
trips.
oh,
Fixture
I love
first,
that.
driver second, right?
I did see a good. I saw many. Shout out to people listening who replied to the post that was asking about, hey, is there anything that we could change or we could add to the lights. There's some good recommendations, and there's a lot of recommendations that we already have or already have coming. But of course, you didn't know that. But one that I saw, GML, that I forgot to talk to you about that I thought was kind of a cool idea, some kind of a locking mechanism on the fold so that you could lock it so that it doesn't fold in on you when you're trying to hang it.
So that flat plate that comes out that connects the two halves past the hinge, if you're mindful about how you hang it, whether it's parallel or series, like whether you're gonna have them end to end or side to side, you can unfold the fixture, pull that plate out, put that little wing nut thing, and it'll prevent it from collapsing on the hinge and get your finger stuck in there. But you can get around all that if you're mindful about unfolding one side first and hanging two sides, walk around the table, grab the other half, pull it up. If you pull your ratchet straps from the ceiling first and bring them down to belly height, and you hang one corner at a time, you can make it easier on yourself. It's a methodical thing. You have to think ahead a little bit.
We've also changed our packaging for the Borg Evo, and the Borg Voyager. We've made it so the driver is in a separate box now. I think we've actually done that for maybe the long leg and the maybe just, I think we did it for that and maybe a couple others too. Like we had at least 25 ish like shipping issues with Borgs, like separate Borgs where the driver was so heavy where it got damaged. The driver box itself got damaged in shipping within the box.
Because it's on one side of the box, right? When you pick it up, you don't know which side the driver's on. And if you pick it up and it's on the top side, it's top heavy and it wants to flop. But if you pick it up and it's on the bottom side, it rests in your arms all right. But you don't know until you pick it up. And yeah, it's a bit much to have it all in one box. It's best to have it two.
Eliminate it so that it's like we've made it so that it's like you can throw this driver box,
Yeah.
you know, and it's gonna be okay. Like we already had very elite packaging already, but it just the thing is so heavy within it. So having it separated, it's gonna make things so much easier for us. Anyways.
And
Oh,
by-
one other. Oh,
Quick
sorry.
note, anybody who buys these lights, save your box. Do not throw your boxes out.
Yeah, it's always nice. Yeah, one thing I wanted to bring up that I forgot to bring up about the Voyager that I'm just going to quickly touch on here is it's got two drivers. So if you happen to have a driver failure, you're going to always guarantee to have 750 watts of power until the driver box's replacement is sent. It's not like we're using Inventronics. So it's not like we have a bunch of failures, but if it does happen, it's out of our control, but you still will not be without power. You'll either have a really warm temperature spectrum or a very cool temperature, but for those few days while we're sending it out, you'll have it.
Yeah, you'll be able to keep your light cycles at the very least.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It would just not at least have light on your canopy. So again, if you came in late, so these are 12 presets. It's not limited to 12 spectrums, guys. You can do a hell of a lot more than 12 spectrums, but these are 12. Like what kind of limits the diversity of this is that the 660 is fixed on the same channel with the warm white. So when you're moving the warm white, the channel's moving, the whole red is moving. But one thing I want to point out though, look at how wide the red wavelength is. You're going from 600 to basically, to 660, where on a, let's go find a more kind of, let's go find like a traditional spectrum. Like this looks like these ones like 47 would look like, 43. These are what a lot of company spectrums look like these days. When you're
48's being my go-to.
Yeah, but
really
what
look
my
at that
point is,
greenish orange area. That's where a lot of these companies are starting to miss out. Not all of them, but I really see them getting really low in the yellow, orange, green kind of zones.
But what my point is would you want just a 660 wavelength of just that red spike if you're using red, or do you want the whole red wavelength?
Well, if I was an
like-
LED company that just wanted to make a light that looked really efficient, yeah, I would make a big spike in that 680 where it's a really efficient diodes to make my light efficient.
I'm just looking to see right here on number 50 here, guys. Now this is very similar to what HPS looks like. If you Google double-ended HPS, it is very, very similar to this. it's going to have like a little spike coming out here. And it's going to have a little bit. So that's what I'm trying to get at is like, you know how people like HPS? Well, it's got a wide red wavelength. And I'm not,
What's
The
that number
Hortilux pink,
51?
Is that what that is?
what's that?
Is that the Hortilux pink? Is that what that is?
Number
That
50?
Hortilux 1000 single-ended, the old classic Hortilux.
Well, it's pretty similar. Like to make it, you need more 730 and just a little bit more 660 for red.
I
But
like that number 51 spectrum, except for it's really low in red, kind of.
well, no, this has got
Got that
this has
weird
got
peak.
this. I don't know. That's got a lot of 730 nanometer in it.
I know, that's what I was saying. I was like, that's a crazy bump.
But this might be
Interested
like
to see if they would make the plant stretch, because normally I would think that would make the plant stretch a lot, but because of the two blue on the left of it there, those two bumps of blue, that might reduce it or keep the stretch down enough to, I'd just be interested to see what that would do with that much far red.
yeah. Well,
Like
the
the-
beautiful thing is if you want your far red to stretch, you only need it about like 20 to 30% more than the white channel higher, and it's going to cause undesirable stretching. Like
Yeah.
it
I like to
might
get
be
like
desirable.
10% of the total spectrum.
Yeah, it
far
might be
red.
desirable for you. So one thing I want to kind of point out too about the difference. So this light is 2-channel. So, but this light is 4-channel. So we can control the 660 spike. We can control the 730. So let's find I'll find the 730 channel here by it.
Am I wrong in assuming that deep red and far red encourage root growth?
Well, I think a lot of stuff, I don't
Yes.
encourages root growth, but I just want to say what my one point is. So this is far red turned on, so you can control that one and you can control this one. And back to that other one.
Oh, okay.
51.
Nice.
So and this is why you have such a more diversity, and then you can control this one. And then there's one where it's completely blue here. I don't know what it is off by heart, but the 9000K channel. But anyway, so this is the one that it does give you that much more diversity of being able to just kind of do anything. But at the same time, this one, it's such a competitive edge compared to, well, like I said, the number 1 is a little bit warmer than what an HPS is, but you're getting closer to 2 or 3, or 2 would be pretty damn close to it. And then you can just go from that to basically metal halide. Then you can go to ones. Now, the one
Yeah.
thing I want to point out these are very similar to regular LED lights, a lot of them. And just because it doesn't have the name, like the ratios are the same, but it looks different. Like the actual picture of the spectrum looks different because the red is way wider instead of having a big spike up. But my point is you're going to be able to get into like 1 to 2% range of basically most LEDs on the market if you want in between here, or you can go metal halide basically, or you can go HPS. And that's why I just
Got a question for you, Jim Allen. I haven't asked you this yet, but which one of our spectrums that we maybe in one of our presets or something, but have we made a spectrum that's like a 100 CRI, like exactly like the sun? Or what's our highest CRI spectrum? How close have we gotten to that?
it's like
Same as sun CRI.
I believe it's like 94.2 is our highest, or 94.3. I'd have to double check with that. I think that's the
Nice.
highest the closest that we can get to the sun. I think
That's pretty damn close.
I'd have to
90,
double
94,
check.
95 out of 100.
Like, yeah, 94.1 or 2, I believe it is. I'd have to check the tests.
And what spectrum was that? Do you remember?
I don't.
A little bit more
Oh.
blue. Like, instead of having everything to 100%, you would dial back the red or the white spectrum a little bit back. Allow a little bit more blue would give you that CRI number.
JMJ12 asks, can you run multiple setting spectrums in a 24-hour cycle? You can change the spectrum up to 20 times or 20 schedules in one day. So yes.
Okay, on that topic. So Mandy or somebody should make a video explaining how to unbox the digital display and how to go through the different menus, because it took me some minute to figure out, but there's the main screen where you get your 4 channels where you customize your channels the way you want them. In my case, I got them all to 100% and I'm dialing the main dial down to the power level that I want. If you get into the presets, the files that are saved in the system, they have a different function where you set your timer on, off, or your on and off time. It's not the same as when you first power up the display, you plug it in, you pick your own percentage of each 4 channel. The each entry for the timer.
The presets are doing that. The presets pick those 4 presets. So you just
All right. But if you don't
override
want to
it
use the
and-
presets, if you just want to set your own,
yeah.
put in an entry and put them at 100% on all 4 channels. From this time on, this is when it starts. You save that, then you put another entry, and this is when it turns off, and you put all 4 channels to 0%. That turns everything off. It's a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah,
Not
no,
good.
I agree with you 100%, and we are going to make it. It's just like we're human, and
I had to poke around. I figured it out, but it took some poking around to get it right.
no, like it's on our serious to-do list.
Yeah, but I love the display. It's fucking awesome. I love the able to adjust things.
And
Without
it's
reaching up for knobs.
I didn't realize how awesome it was for me to, especially with the Borg, to get the spectrum I wanted, but also dim. It's like before, for me to do that, I had to
well,
eyeball the spectrum. Wasn't even sure if I was quite right on the percentages, and then I'd get my light meter and then try to dim them all at the same amount and then go up. It was ridiculous to just go over to the meter and just push the button one time and it goes down 1%, but keeps the spectrum.
Did you figure out how to, like, are you using the presets or are you customizing your own?
I did the preset. I'm running a preset right now.
Okay, so the presets give you ratios of 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 4 channels, right?
Yes. Yeah, percentages, yeah.
But if you're not going in there and if you're relying on your own custom setup,
Yes.
you have to tell it how
Oh, no.
much power each channel can pull.
I did do that. I did. So I went in and I set it to my light. So my light was the Borg. So I set it to the 4 different wattages from the front of the book.
yes, that's another thing that you have to do. I think this is a perfect example, though, Poops, of why also we've held back the Tarantula Predator. Like, we wanted to do all this stuff and have all these videos, but we have so much on our table that we're doing every single day that we haven't. Obviously, we would like to have a video that shows how to work everything, so it's really easy for people to reference. It's already caused chaos for us not having it. Like
Right.
there's people calling all day long asking for help with it. So again, I agree with you, but that's again an example of like why we're not gonna try to rush anything ever again.
I'll short term it to anybody listening right now. You see this little dude right here, the wattage?
Yep.
If you press and hold that, it brings up this menu right here.
Yeah, you got to press and hold for that to happen.
Yes, you press and hold that.
It's not
This
just
brings
a
up this
button.
menu right here. So this is channel 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yep.
and they default to 500 watts per channel. But
Yep.
channel 1 and 2 would draw 640 and 630 watts at full power. Channel 3 and 4 draw 225 and 110 on
Hey.
120 volt. But give or take 500, doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
ballpark.
I just went off the numbers in the book, but yeah, they're really close.
Right.
If it on 240, it should be 600, 600, 200, and 100.
Right. In my world, this is where it ended up with a power meter. So you see this
No,
last
but
one.
that's on 240. I'm talking on 120. It's always going to be higher.
Right.
Like you're going to have 15 to 20 watts higher. Well, 50, it should be exactly 15 watts higher, but then there's obviously the power meter difference, right, between different power meters.
But if you go in here and you dial in each channel, its potential maximum power, it's super accurate and it's amazing. See how this draws 242 watts and this says 242 watts. Because I got everything calibrated. This is physically measuring the AC wall outlet at 240 watts. And this says the display would, in theory, draw 240 watts. It's spot on. Beautiful. But you want to go in there and set them up. That's a process. I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah, we definitely have to, make it, like I said, a couple adjustments. And did we lose Spartan there?
Run out of battery or something.
Oh. Yeah, I guess he was just on his phone. Oh.
But yeah, the display is a generic, right? So it can handle 4 channels, but you tell it what channels you have and what drivers on what each channel, and it extrapolates and it's accurate. I really do like it.
Nice. Yeah.
I would love for it to be an external sensor. Man, I want to test the temperature humidity sensor from an AC Infinity and plug it in there. I don't know, hopefully I won't blow nothing up. But I'm gonna try it soon.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to get it going. I'm on day 2 here in 3 hours. So yeah, it was crazy is that I was gonna plant everything. I went to the store to get these landscape paper, and then I saw these 2-gallon pots that are square, and I tried ordering them, I couldn't find them anywhere. And then I'm like, I saw 41 of them, or they had 41 of them, and then they called all the local stores around, started driving store to store to store, and I needed 96. I ended up getting 92 of them, and then the following day I found them, so I finally got square pots. And my point that I'm bringing up, the holes are directly underneath. They don't come in the corners and up. So like for cutting a piece of landscape paper, it's so nice. It just goes right in, so nice and easy, and then it doesn't bleed out. And I didn't plug the sensor in, but I'm just so happy that I have them, because it's obviously when I'm putting a sensor, putting it in a round pot, 3 spikes, it doesn't
And
go
I
very easy.
gotta get you to put a scale on those fucking things. I want to know what they call wet and dry. Like I want to know a weight, what they consider fully wet, fully dry. Because I was going 50%, like if you watch the Canna Coco videos from as far back as you can remember, they tell you that when you saturate your pot, whatever that weighs, when you hit 50% of that, it's time to water again. That's their general guideline, 50%.
Yeah, like I said, I could just from last crop went better than the previous ones, and I definitely had a higher moisture content the whole time. It's one thing that stuck out, and like I said, it's been something that's really weird for me to get used to, but it's just something I'm gonna have to get used to.
But I'm at a point now where let's say
I can definitely weigh it at, like, it'll be very easy for me to be able to do that, because I can just put a scale in there and tell you exactly where we're at. And match it to the sensor. So that's not going to be a problem. I've got 4 more sensors to add. That's the one thing, is I'm about to add on 2 more. Well, I'll redo the irrigation system. Spartan, how you doing there? I figured phone died.
So storm's going through, so the internet went out. So now I'm on my cell phone. I might use my cell phone for a hotspot. So
Hey, you're pretty crystal clear, man. You're
Hey.
good.
Yeah, I think it's not 5G, but it's full bars, so I'm good.
Nice.
So on the topic of dryback, I used to count like the 50% as my trigger point to go water again. That's too dry early on.
Okay.
30% dryback seems to be the trigger point right now to keep things super happy and happy. Like if you got gourd properly, what do you call that? Aerated soil where it doesn't build up too much. Like you can pour it through, it'll only hold so much. When whatever they're 100% soaking wet, runoff stop, whatever that weighs, when it drops 35%, go again.
So they call that field capacity. So what's your
Field
35%?
capacity, 100%. Yes. So 35% by weight of your field capacity is your trigger point to do better than 50%.
35%. Okay.
Yeah.
And so for my whole experience of my whole life, I don't have a scale, but the one thing I do know in soil, it's definitely not beneficial to be watering it wet on wet. Like you've got to allow dry box. Like you can grow it and it will grow, but you kill yourself in yield and quality. And from my experience, at least, like everything can look right, but if you're watering it when it's wet, it's a problem, man. You got to have that dry back proper in the proper balance, or at least majority of your room.
Like there's an exception. When you first transplant, you have to water it in gradually, like get your roots established. Once your roots are established, they're quite capable of handling overwatering to some degree. Here's another one. So how many waterings without runoff do you need before you get buildup? Anybody want to gather a fucking guess on that?
How many waterings are you talking? Oh, with salts.
Yeah, let's say you put in like, fucking pick your nutrient GH.
And so you can actually visually see the buildup. Is that what you're saying?
How many times can you water your plant without runoff before you reach a point of it being a problem where you got to start?
I would say that you have a chance for it to be a problem after one time.
Ooh, 10.
10.
10. You can spot water your plant without runoff bunch of times, cause no problems.
Well, the only thing that I could say is I don't know if you could keep your roots white if you're doing that.
But you can water your pot without runoff up to like 10 times before you reach a point of it being a buildup issue where the pH becomes toxic.
Build up. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Build up issue. Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, I went off
And
topic.
that's so many variables too, right? So it
Oh,
depends
God,
on what
yeah.
you're feeding, you know.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Going in at 1.5 average EC.
Okay, that's decent. Yeah, that's not bad.
You
That's
can
good
do
that you didn't build up. They must have been eating good.
Yep. Things are right. You can get up to 10 waterings without runoff before things get to a point where you need to adjust shit and get runoff. Because the reason I say that is because I had the system set up where the trigger points are wet and dry, right? My pump kicks in based on weight. And if I get my weight wrong because my calibration's off, if I don't get runoff, I can get about a dozen cycles before I see a result in the plant where I have to get in there with a pitcher and fucking water it with runoff.
And what media are you in?
Okay, Pro Mix in my case with a lot of perlite, so high porosity
So you can water every day.
once a day. Yes, with a
What,
well-established.
so what if you just programmed in a way to bypass, or not bypass, but that would feed all of them on your command, and then you could just go in there like once a week. That'll be well before your 10 days, and just say extra watering today. Everybody's water until I see runoff. You know what I'm saying? And then just put something like that into an SOP.
Yes, you can do that. And I can show you a graphical representation of that based on this. Okay, so wait for it to load. Hold on, we'll get there. Proxy server, come on, buddy, you can do it. Oh, baby, go. Come on.
Each one of those represents a single scale, right? Yeah. So it's
Each one of these is a separate plant, individual scale. Come on now.
That's cool.
So you can do it. I don't know why they pulled it. Of course, it's on live stream. It's got a fucking dog. Otherwise, that's it.
It's nervous, man. It's not used to being on the World
Ah,
Wide Web, man.
performance anxiety here. Come on. Be a shower, not a grower. Come on. Okay, I don't know why this is fucking taking forever. Hold on. I'm trying to solve this. What the fuck's going on here?
Anyways,
Buddy. But yes, a couple of waterings without runoff will not cause you problems. 2 or 3, 4, 5 times, no issue. If you keep watering without runoff with salt newts, you're going to reach a point where your pH will get out of whack, and that'll cause you problems. It's not the EC as much as the pH. The pH keeps going lower as your EC builds.
absolutely.
You know, lower pH,
Okay.
generally speaking, makes all these minerals more available to the plant. So it's going to uptake all these minerals, and that's when you start seeing burning.
That's why it's so nice to be able to with cocoa, just run till you got the runoff coming through to kind of correct any kind of situation. You can just pound it with runoff and fix what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's last
But-
crop. I think I already said this, but I came down with white roots, and I didn't have white roots the 3 previous crops or the 2 previous crops I had. They weren't white at my harvest, so like I obviously did a lot better job. And well, I was gonna say is GrowLink. I was just talking to Marcus from GrowLink yesterday actually, and they're either going to be coming on next week or maybe the following week after. And these guys are freaking pros. Like I'm a complete rookie when it comes to crop steering. Like I don't even fully understand all the language properly, you know, like I don't fully have it yet there, but I'm sure I'll get it pretty quick here. And like basically GrowLink is going to be controlling everything for my next crop until I get to the flush.
Oh, it's nice to see, man. Like you can see here, like nighttime, daytime, super steep line, nighttime, daytime.
Yeah.
But I have all 12 plants here drinking on command. Nobody's overlapping, nobody's overshooting, nobody's undershooting. Everybody's drinking in turn when they're ready. But as long as I get these tails, I'm getting runoff. And my runoff is good. I'm hitting like 2.5 EC on my runoff.
Okay.
Well, it's a kind of a perfect example. If you could see 12 different times that they all are being fed. Now picture you've got 500 plants in one room. Do you know how the variance of it? I was just talking with somebody the other day about how getting a whole large room to dry out at the same time is an art.
Oh God.
It's
Yeah.
art. I've done it. I had to do it for years. Like people used to make fun of me because I would have what are they, a humostat for every single light. So I'd be in a room with 20 lights or whatever, and there's 20 of them hanging down right at the canopy level. And the reason why I would have that is because, like, say if you only have 2 of them and you adjust one fan and you're letting an AC cycle off and on, you only can see what's happening in those 2 spots, and like one fan can change how the corner reacts. I know it sounds crazy, but the only way to truly know how your room is truly perfect is if you have it over every single one. So I'd sit there in a night and let the AC cycle 50 damn times, man. I don't know, maybe not 50 times, but I've been there for hours adjusting fans and getting it until I've got the whole room within 1 degree of each other over every single light. Now, after I've got it, the whole room within 1 degree, I still on every outside rows would have to use a thicker pot and a thinner pot in the middle, and I'd have to have them on a different zone where the outside pots were getting longer. And I'd also have to use 4 emitters per plant. So like ones that were in the corner, there'd only be 2 emitters in some plants, or a plant would have 3. This one would have 2, but I'd have the whole.
I remember your old videos, man, where
Yeah.
every post had like 3 or 4 humidistats.
I've even had one time where I had 9 emitters per plant because I could balance things so easier. I know it sounds crazy having 9, but it's truly, like I said, it's an art to have a whole large room dry out evenly and be aware of it. If you're trying to maximize your room, you got to. If you're trying to like truly maximize your yield, because your ends are like of just of a room. If you don't have everything perfect and you're not giving them slightly less, they're going to be heavier. Like, you know, like the corners of your rooms and stuff like that. It's like,
plus all the time of you in there having to do that, all that extra CO2 for the plants, that hooks them up too, man. That gives you some extra yield too.
yeah, oh, absolutely.
Just the more time you can spend on your plants. And that's what I think I like the best about automation is that it takes some of the tasks, you know, makes tasks that would normally take you hours to do and sometimes makes it so you don't have to do it at all. So it's like 0 time. And then you can, it doesn't mean you're not in the garden. It means you can spend time in the garden doing other things. And that's where your garden can really make, you know, leaps and bounds improvements.
Man, I go into my garden like 10 times a day just for a walkthrough, and I make sure the automation system is doing the way it should. But the plants are all being cared for. I'm looking for a problem, but unless there's an issue, everything is fucking hunky-dory. It's my job to go in there and make sure that it is. You know, like I'm just overseeing everything, not doing everything.
Yeah, it's
And that's the difference between 20 hours of labor and 1 hour of labor a week.
yeah, it's I have to admit, like I definitely like that. I feel like I was in the Stone Age for many years, even when I got my automation, but like not using even sensors or using every single tool that you can possibly have to your advantage, to being able to have like a pulse in your room or something that's reading it and alerting you.
So, you know, the whole discussion of having 3, 5, 7, 10-gallon pots, you know, more gallons a pot equals more yield.
Or how about let's just call it a certain required amount of medium per light or per square footage to hit a minimum yield.
Right.
I've got a rule.
Semi BS on that. It all depends on, can you time the watering perfectly or not?
Well,
If you're
you're
too small of a pot
calling
and you miss
BS
it,
on that?
somewhat, yes. Because smaller pots watered correctly at the right time put out better fucking nugs than oversized pots that are not taking advantage of the medium. If you're going oversized pots to time out, to buffer out your timing so that you can get to it.
Well, I think you just said it right there though, Poops. Like if you have, obviously, yeah, you have a pot that's not using up all the roots, it's not going to perform. But if you have a pot, like, I don't know, like I've really tested this out where I'm on a commercial level where I'm doing crop after crop and then all of a sudden making one change by adding, let's just say 18 gallons of medium. It was life-changing for me where like, I didn't do anything different. And I documented this. I still have the videos to this day where I was doing 9 5-gallon plants per light. And I went from 9 5 gallons to 9 7 gallons. And I just destroyed, like I was having perfect runs. There was not a bug in my room, not a thing you could criticize about it.
But
I
you were
didn't take-
triggering watering on your call, right? You were going in saying it's time, and you would send it. The whole room would get watered when you called it.
I had it like that they would be drying out every second day is basically for most of the cycle on how it was doing, just like how it was doing with the 5 gallon, but now everything was the exact same except for I went from 9 5 gallons to 9 7 gallons. And I can remember it. It's crystal clear. I exactly like I went from getting 1.7 to 1.8 pounds of light to 2.5. And it's like there was nothing different. I have 4 crops in a row still, the videos of it to this day.
Right, because that pot was rooted, and when it dried out, it dried out. It was ready for watering. Versus, it was dry, it was ready, but there was buffer because it was that big of a pot that it could accept the excess amount of water that would give you that sweet spot where if you didn't trigger at the exact right time, you'd get away with it.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say is like a minimum amount of like, so I'll tell you my rule. I think that you want a minimum of 40 gallons of medium in say like 16 to 20 square feet of root mass. And like I've tried going as low as 21 gallons, even like 3.7 gallons. And again, I was hitting 1.5 pounds per light. Like I was I don't know. I feel really, really strongly about that. But in Pro Mix only, at least in my opinion, like cocoa, it's like breaks the rules. Like as far as I can see, 1 gallon of cocoa is equal to 5 gallons of Pro Mix or more. You could grow like I could grow in 1 gallon of cocoa, the same size plant I'm growing in 7 gallons of Pro Mix.
I would agree 1 to 5 at least, for sure. 1 to 7, you think? Oh, I don't know about that. Maybe.
From what I've seen, at least, like I've seen, like, and I'm just basing
Yield?
off what I've seen people yield off a 1 gallon cocoa. Like they straight up.
Yeah, but you got to remember in the same space, like we'll say a 4x4 space, you're going to get probably 4 7 gallons, but how many 1 gallons are you going to get in there?
In a one,
16s,
Probably 6.
9 or
I
16.
bet you're gonna. What do you think would out yield it? You think they'd
you
be
can
the
put
same?
9. Can you not put 9 5 gallons in a 4x4?
Oof,
You're almost touching.
too much. You can't veg long enough to take advantage of that.
Well, I guess you could. I guess you could if you were flipping quick. Well, no, you can't flip
Either way.
quick because you need to fill out the pot.
Right? You're gonna have to veg so long that in the 4x4, in 5 gallon pots, you're gonna have to veg too long unless you got 12-foot ceilings. You're not taking advantage of it.
I know.
I tend to agree with that. I think.
It depends on your ceiling height and how long you can veg. More
Yeah.
roots, more fruits, but how long do you spend in veg before you flip? That's a
I'm
fact.
still 100% in agreement that at 1 to 5 for sure. Maybe 1 to 7. It wouldn't surprise me, but I would say 1 to 5.
Like
for
if you
sure.
can automate the watering, 1 gallons is good to go.
I know you could make a big ass plant.
All right, you can
You
grow
can
a
automate.
gigantic fucking plant, yield maximum yield as long as you can keep up with that 1 gallon pot. When it's ready, it needs to go. But you got to automate that shit.
But in soil, it's not. I don't think it really. They can grow quite as big though. But hey, like
Bro, and I can tell you in big pots of cocoa, you can grow gigantic plants.
Trees, like fucking
At,
trees.
at Minton, we did that. Like I don't think it was maybe a 10, maybe a 10-gallon pot of cocoa. We
Jeez.
grew this big mama.
I remember that.
Dude,
That
it was
monster
taller
huge
than me.
plum.
Yeah, it's huge.
Um,
So,
it would
yeah,
suck it
so
up
you
in
can be
24
big,
hours,
big.
right? It would drink its pot in 24 hours.
Oh, we'd have to water it twice. We'd water it in the morning and water it before we left.
There.
um,
So if you can keep up with it, it's like full on hydro. You can do a solo cup if you keep it wet. But you got to keep feeding that bitch.
That would just be a constant drip at the end, just never stop, just constant water.
It would have to. But what's the maximum efficiency of your media? Like media efficiency, there's a calculation there somewhere for cost analysis, right? How little can you spend on media and get maximum yield if you can keep up with the watering without causing a wilt or causing an over drying situation? I'm on the quest for that. I want to try and use the littlest media possible, man. If I can grow in a fucking 1-inch Rockwool cube, I will.
well, I was just
I
gonna
was just
say.
gonna ask you if you tried Rockwell because I think that'd be the next step. And then
Yeah,
the next thing would be water culture because then you don't have media that you have a
all.
hard time getting rid of at least.
I like the idea of honestly checking out Rockwell. Like when I was just messing around with all the cocoa and the mess, and I was thinking, oh man, as long I just have to experiment, can I flush it with a wand and get everything out at the end? But if that's the case, ooh, the simplicity of that
The
is
thing
just
about
great.
me is, what do you do with it at the end?
Yeah.
Throw it in the trash? What do you do with it when you're done harvesting? What do you do with that Rockwell?
Yeah, I guess it goes in the garbage to the dump. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the problem I have with it.
Yeah. Hey guys, I just noticed it's already 8:45. Well, yeah, very late in lots of different places. We've been going for 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I have to check on the room, and I'm pretty much done. I've had like an insane week. So I'm gonna shoot it over to Poops for your shout outs here.
Well, man, as usual, be good, be nice, be good to people, man. Do good shit, build stuff. Think positive. Fuck the bullshit. Never mind politics. Grow more weed. Cheers.
I was just gonna say, well said, man. There's no politics here. We're all hustlers. Spartan.
I want to shout out Weezen, man. Big congrats on that light. I'm so happy to see you get that. Can't wait to see you see what you can do with some GML lighting in your grow. I think you're gonna like it. And shout out to chat today. I was thoroughly impressed at everything. Very entertaining today. And hell, when we got around to giving out that light that looked like just a constant wheel, just so many people comment. It was insane. So yeah, and shout out to the panelists. I love coming on and talking with you guys every week. Can't do the show without you guys either. So thank you all, and GML for doing it and making it all possible. And
hey, you don't gotta say me, man. No one wants
yeah, you make it all possible,
guys,
man. You've been doing. Thank you for being consistent, for not giving up, for
No,
continuing
we
to
gotta
go
make
through
a
all the
rule. There's
bullshit.
no shouting out me anymore.
And I want to shout out Mandy. Shout out Mandy. She was on the show watching earlier. I'm sure she's probably still watching. Thank you for all the hard work. Thank you. I'm learning a lot from you. Thank you for helping me. And growers love everybody. Keep growing.
Charlene.
I would like to shout out both chats tonight. You guys were great. Very, very, very entertaining for sure. I'm going to shout out Eric and the pups at home. I also want to shout out Grand. He's growing 3.9 pounds off of one plant for his lady over there. So I want to shout that out. That's pretty dang great. Again, RIP Despicable Dabs. Sorry. Queenie's gonna have your ass tonight. Shout out to Manny for being in the chat. Shout out the panelists. Shout out Preston and Heston who weren't here. And yeah, shout out everybody else. Thanks for being here tonight. It was great.
Holy fuck, who won, by the way? I don't even remember.
Wheezing the juice. Shout
Oh,
out.
yes. Congratulations, by the way, dude.
Well, I'm gonna start off with a shout out to Bubble Man. I know it was he wanted to come here today, but his son had snowboarding lessons. So my dogs are can you guys hear that or not? No, my dogs are just going crazy. Anyways, but anyway, so I know he wanted to be here, but he was in Whistler and his son had lessons, so they were dealing with that. So he obviously wasn't able to make it back in time. But shout out to Marcus. It's probably going to be about another month before we can get his place running. It's just too cold. Like there's no point. Like I think I brought this up last week. I bought this crazy 1,000-watt heater that just blares out heat, and he ran it all night on high and it was like walking into outside. So there's no way you're growing in in a tent. There's going to be so much condensation. If you're even trying to even put a heater inside the tent, it's just asking for problems. So
yeah.
You know what? I just kind of had a cool idea, man. Like, well, first of all, I haven't done mushrooms forever. We should have a night where it's all like planned, where we're all gonna do shrooms for the show, and like also the audience will know ahead of time so they can do shrooms too. You know how much or a lot of people, because that'd be so fun. So I was thinking it would be a trip.
Dude, I totally will have some ready in like 2 weeks for everybody if you want.
Yeah,
I'm totally
well,
down.
I've got some from last year, and I'm sure most people have access to them, or if you like doing them, here, Storm. So yeah, most people have access to them, or I don't know, that would be kind of really, really trippy. It'd be fun
You
too.
just
Like,
you just wouldn't see me very much because, well, it depends on the dosage because
well, that's
to get
you
the
can you
dosage
can
wrong, basically what I do is just pace and walk around.
well, I know it'd be all trippy looking at yourself on camera up close
Oh,
too.
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You know what though?
I've
You
always
can point a
avoided the
GML.
mirror.
You can set it up like this. Well, you're gonna have a computer set up soon like this anyway, so have it as a have it pointing at you. You know, because I can tell you, man, usually on mushrooms, that'd be the last thing I'd want to be around a whole bunch of people.
No, I want to be outside.
Yeah, it'd be kind of trippy. We're with hundreds of people online and our regular panel and crew and just everything that would be trippy. So that's kind of an idea. What do you guys think? Everybody like that idea?
Yeah, I think it would be absolutely wild, but I'm game. Shit.
Yeah, well, again, I know Marcus loves mushrooms. We'll definitely get yeah, so I think that's a pretty good plan, and we should plan to do that in the future with plenty of notice so everybody can prepare and take the mushrooms like an hour before the show.
Should wait till bicycle day. We're around there.
I'm tripping balls right now. It's been fucking a great 2 hours.
Everybody likes to trip around that. Day.
The other thing, again, guys, I want to just remind if you just log in, this sale that's going on right now is the only time it's ever going to be on sale for this much, and it's going to end in 48 hours. Like, we cannot sell it for that amount. So it's for the GML viewers and everything. So take advantage of that if you want the Borg Evolution at 1105 or the Voyager at 900. And even moving forward with the pricing on both of them, it changes the game just straight up. There's never been these types of options for this kind of pricing. And our team, we're sacrificing profit to be able to do this. And to really just make the best possible product, the most affordable, direct to the consumer. We know what the people want, and we're delivering. So again, I just want to thank you guys for all the support. This wouldn't be possible without you guys. And we got some awesome stuff in the works. We'll see everybody next week. We can drop the link in Zoom. I've got about 5 minutes before I'm about to shut her down for the after show. All right, guys.
Bye.
Everybody, or wait, first let's just quickly drop the link for people. And
Okay.
we want to get the Zoom thing going too again, man. Where it's nice having people because there's no lag on the Zoom too. And it's just nice having people for Zoom. Okay. All right, guys. You guys have an awesome week. We'll see everybody next week. Stay safe.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
Oh, I almost ended the Zoom. You got to end it.